amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts and Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports leaders at the United States Military Academy announced pillow fights have been banned in response to the bloody pillow melee that left some 30 freshman cadets injured at West Point in August. The annual pillow fight has long been a tradition at the school as a way for plebes, or first-year students, to bond after intense summer training, but 3 months ago the tradition went awry after several cadets put hard objects, including helmets, into their pillowcases for the fight. At least 24 people were left with concussions. One person was knocked unconscious. Academy Superintendent Lieutenant General Robert Caslin said the incident showed that such unprofessional spirit events have no place in the future of the Academy or in the development of the Army's next generation of leaders. Other officials at the school said the pillow fight was not an officially sanctioned event, nor was it based on any long-standing tradition. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports retailers across the United States offered early Black Friday discounts to lure bargain hunters on Thanksgiving Eve, but initial checks showed crowds in brick-and-mortar stores were subdued even as online sales jumped. Craig Johnson, president of the Consumer Growth Partners, said it's still early and from what we're seeing so far the crowds are good but not great. The retail consultancy has 18 members studying consumer traffic in different parts of the country. However, many stores were packed. At Toys R Us in New York's Times Square, a line of about 200 shoppers hemmed in by barricades stretched to the corner of 45th Street and towards 6th Avenue, where the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade had just ended a few hours earlier. The first shoppers through the door cheered as they were greeted by store employees donning Santa hats. The rush on the night of the U.S. holiday, a month before Christmas, reflects the new normal in the United States for holiday shopping, which was traditionally kicked off the next day, Black Friday. In an effort to attract the most eager holiday shoppers and fend off competition from Amazon.com, U.S. retailers have increasingly extended their holiday deals by opening stores on the evening of Thanksgiving. This hurt customer turnout on Black Friday last year, a trend analysts and consultants expect will repeat this year. Shoppers in the United States spent more than $1 billion online, 22% more than last year, between midnight and 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, according to the Adobe Digital Index, which tracked 100 million visits to 4,500 U.S. retail sites. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The call just came in over the police radio. Yeah, right here. It's just me, my producer, Glenn, and a camera. Buckle up. We don't know where in the mall the shots were fired. We don't know what's going on. It looks like a security guard. I'm going to see what he knows. Turns out he wasn't a security guard. He was just a guy in a blue suit. We still have zero information. Where do we go next? I have no idea. My gut says that way. Come on. I see an ambulance. Confirmed ambulance site. You'll see the space by the curb where an ambulance was parked just moments ago.
You have any idea where the shooter is?
I was being stonewalled by police, but I couldn't let that stop me. I spoke to a woman who said that she saw a man being escorted through the mall by police. Could this be the shooter? According to the description, he was a male, aged somewhere between 20 and 60. He's either Caucasian or part Latino or something like that. He was wearing some kind of a jacket. I wrote something else here, but he got smudged. However, that information later turned out to be false. The shooter, if there is one, remains at large. Needless to say, our thoughts are with the victims here today, if there are any, which we don't know yet.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and it is the Black Friday edition of the show. We're actually here doing a live program. I don't know how many other shows are today. Maybe some of them are. And with you in the studio tonight, you've got me, Ian.
And Darryl.
You can, of course, bring up anything you want. We'll give you our toll-free numbers as well as the Skype username coming up here tonight. Of course, it being Black Friday, it's inevitable that there's going to be some crazy videos. And honestly, I have not taken the time to watch as many of them as I would have liked to today. Darryl, did you see any of the crazy videos? I've really only seen one, and I know there's supposed to be like a knockdown, drag-out brawl video, but
I saw about 15 seconds of a video that you were watching just before we came on. I actually was being productive today,
So
and
was
then
I.
went to the gym and then ate crab legs and then came here.
Yeah, so what's the worst of the worst? If you want to call in and share it with us, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's almost become like, not like quite like professional wrestling. I mean, that's choreographed, that's it's plotted out. There's a writing that goes into that and acting. This is like a real spectacle.
And athleticism.
Yeah, this is a real spectacle, a real S show. If you will.
This is sort of like the old, what I would imagine the gladiator fights to be, if the gladiators did not train to actually wind up being good at gladiator combat, and there was crappy merchandise thrown into the mix.
Wait, now you're talking about like gladiators from Rome, not American Gladiators, the classic television show?
Right.
Gotcha. Whatever happened to American Gladiators? Did they ever bring that back?
I think they tried to, and then it only lasted for a couple of years.
Our toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, 855-450.
I had such a crush on ice.
Free, 855-450-3733. So I'm watching a compilation of some of these videos right now. There was like a group of teenagers in a fight in a mall, a couple of dudes in a like knockdown, drag-out fist fight in a large crowd of people. And then there's one video where a lady actually steals something out of a little kid's hands. And that's the one that I've definitely been watching here, which is super ridiculous. There's not much to the actual audio, but at one point, the lady who is actually doing the stealing, the woman who snatches a package out of this little kid's hands, could have been older than 6 or 7.
What was the package?
I'm not real clear on. Okay, vegetable steamers. That's what they are.
What the hell does a little kid need vegetable steamers for?
I don't know. He was with his mom or she. You can't really even tell in the video. It's just, this little kid has this yellow box taken out of his or her hands by this lady. And the whole video, it's very, very short. It's about 20 seconds long. I'll just go ahead and play it here because I don't think there's any profanity in it. So what you've got here, it appears to be, I'm not even sure what the store is. It doesn't look like it's a Walmart. Customers rushing in a crowd. It's still dark outside, so this must be, 6 a.m. or something like that.
Or it could have been late last night because some of the stores started their Black Friday at 6 o'clock last night.
Yeah, that's true. That kind of started up last year.
Overnight. Yeah, the whole thing is kind of ridiculous. And I saw something online earlier where one of my Facebook friends was posting about he's equally annoyed at all of the posts about Black Friday, go buy this, go buy that, and the people saying, you should not buy anything today, take part in Don't Buy Friday, because apparently there's the anti-consumerist, don't buy anything. Well, you know what? There are things that, like, I had to go buy some food earlier today. And there were a couple of things that I needed that I waited until today to buy because then I wound up getting extra discount.
See, you're just part of the problem, Darryl. You're just part of the problem.
Right. Had I only paid 15% more and bought it 2 days ago,
then you would have showed those corporate masters.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, I'm being facetious. The whole thing of this buy nothing day, whether it's today or there have been some in the past where others
don't buy gas on the first Tuesday of every month. Okay, so I'll just buy it on Monday or Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like the idea that that's going to have any kind of impact that the gas companies are going to feel or notice or care about, or that Walmart or Target or any of these other mega corporations selling you things, sometimes at cost or lower on these days, as they call them, loss leaders to get people in the front door. So, as though they're going to have any effect on this. Now, something that is, I think, an interesting counter or alternative is the whole buy local, the Plaid. What do they call it? Plaid Friday. It's the same day, I think. Plaid Friday is the same day as Black Friday, and the idea is that you're supposed to wear plaid and then go shopping at local businesses. Am I right about that?
I don't know if you necessarily are encouraged to wear plaid, but yeah, the idea is that you buy from locally owned businesses and buy locally produced products, because then, that'll show Walmart.
I don't think that shows Walmart either, but I think that at the very least it can redirect some purchasing towards a local business.
Certainly.
Which, there's ups and downs on that. Sometimes you're going to pay more at a local business, especially if you're buying the same product as compared to Amazon or Walmart might be selling it. But at the same time, usually service is better. I mean, I remember one time when I first moved to Keene, it's a very bikeable and walkable city, so I went out and bought a bike, and I made the mistake of getting it from Walmart, and it was not put together correctly, and then the next bike wasn't either, and so I returned it and went to the local bike store where it was put together correctly the first time, and the service was great, and I've taken it back there every single time, and I've been super happy with it.
And then there's also the new alternative to Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday being the Monday after Black Friday.
Which was originally created as an alternative to Black Friday.
Yes.
Like, okay, you've done your shopping here. Now we've got all these sales online. But then the online places went to Black Friday as well. So now there's Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yes.
And now you're saying there's an alternative to Cyber Monday?
Yes. It's called Cider Monday. And apparently it's some sort of promotion among locally owned bookstores.
Tell me about that.
Well, I don't know a lot other than what I just told you.
Okay.
Is that there's a thing called Cider Monday.
Cider, like apple cider.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, I think one of the concepts behind it is the bookstores will, provide you beverages. So you go in and get a beverage and browse around and buy books. I think is the thing.
Bookstores, man, there aren't very many of them left.
There's actually a new one here in Keene, which is kind of
Have you
interesting.
been inside?
I have not.
It's actually, I have not been in either. You're talking about the one that sells multiple types of media, right? So they've got like video games, DVDs, and presumably books. That place?
Yeah, the one that just took over where some video store used to be.
Yeah, I have to say I'm fascinated by the fact that someone would actually invest in a physical media store at this point in history.
Well, what I find so odd about it is that it's, half a mile from another bookstore?
Yeah, you're talking about one of the local shops?
Yeah.
So that local shop is a sort of a regional chain.
Regional chain. I think there's like 5 locations all in New Hampshire and Vermont.
I get the feeling that this place is not a majority books. Like I said, I have not been into this new place yet. I suspect, I've seen the picture of their front door, and the word video games is pretty heavy on the front door. So I think it's like an all media kind of place.
I've not even been in that shopping center in probably the last month.
Well, this is probably the last weekend in the world we'd want to go and check it out. But at some point, we probably should see what it's like. But I think it's fascinating that somebody would actually invest money into opening up a physical media store. I mean, here, when I first moved to Keene, there was a place called FYE, which is like an audio store, like an audio CD.
Yeah, that used to be a pretty big chain at one time.
I think it was FYE. Anyway, it was like just they sold CDs or whatever, and they went out of business. So it's tough to make that.
And then there was also a Borders that went out a bit. Yep. That entire chain went out.
Our toll-free number here tonight, if you've been out and about doing Black Friday and you want to tell a story or you got some video you can point us to, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. Free Talk Live. Join us.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door, but police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes, and intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use door armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, door armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your door armor is guaranteed for life. Go to invasionstopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to invasionstopper.com now. That's invasionstopper.com.
It was a big night for music's hottest acts, especially for Lord Chillingsworth. In a shocking upset, the young artist took home the spookiest Halloween sound effect album Grammy for Creepy Night in Halloween Manor. Music blogger Ty Vaughn is here. Ty, what a shocker.
Lord Chillingsworth's track, Man Being Boiled Alive While Chains Rattle in a Dungeon, was crazy spooky. It was everywhere this year. Haunted houses, Halloween stores, nighttime hayrides. Anywhere you look, people were getting the willies from this album.
But a lot of people thought Grammy darling Dr. Spookenstein was a shoo-in to win for his album Laboratory of Madness.
And that was a great album. Critics praised Spookenstein's stripped-down approach, rattling real bones together and dripping real blood onto a screaming lady.
The class act Spookenstein offered a gracious congratulations to Chillingsworth, saying, "I'm a fan of every bloody who was nominated, especially Chillingsworth. I have a skeleton ton of respect for him as an artist. I just saw him on the red carpet and congratulated him."
This is the Onion News Network.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, Black Friday edition of the program, and of course you can join us here. There's a decent little rundown over at Infowars.com of some of the awful Black Friday videos. Was looking for some level of collection of them, and they've got a few of them. Here's some of the sounds from just a vicious, what appears to be a cat fight, some stomping going on there, and a large crowd of people in a mall. Not sure where this one is, but that's what it sounded like in some places in and across the United States today.
And just remember, this is the day after people gave thanks for everything they have.
And I feel kind of bad for laughing at it, but it's just become such a spectacle. And it's also like, it's a fascinating spectacle, like a train wreck. It's a horrible, horrible thing that, anybody would actually be in a train wreck and possibly die in a train wreck, but
yes,
you can't turn your eyes away from it. If you want to share your thoughts of your experiences, especially if you've been out and about today, maybe you work in retail, maybe you were on the sales floor and you witnessed some of the insanity, or perhaps you were behind the customer side of the counter and you were there today. You want to share that with us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Now, I know Conan, our Tuesday night co-host, used to work at Walmart.
He did overnights.
Right, but he would have to work the Black Fridays because they would open up late on Wednesday or really early on, or late on Thursday
right.
or early on Friday. But in either case, it would be during his shift. And he said he never saw anything like this, that it was always orderly to where they would have a worker stand around, like there's 5 televisions and the first people, blah, 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 get it for $2 or whatever sort of ridiculous thing. But they would always have a worker there handing to whomever walked up, or I think he had said one time they had video games that were on special and they had them in some sort of little carousel sort of thing, and somebody would come in and they would not let anybody in until after somebody walked out because they were keeping the number at, like 10 or whatever. So they were making sure that there was none of this weird bum fight sort of stuff. And I use the term bum fight because the one guy's yelling World Star. And World Star, if you've never gone to the website, they post bum fight video. Like, that's what they are, where they'll just go find a couple of homeless guys or a couple of bums.
You think
they're
they're setting up videos for
and
fights?
They'll convince these people to fight each other, and then they film it and somebody puts it up on there. And that's how Kimbo Slice became famous and then became a mixed martial arts fighter, was because he was doing bum fights.
Wait, was he on Bum Fights or World Star? Because Bum Fights was way back. That Bum Fights happened back like a decade ago, because we were talking about that on Free Talk Live, I think, when we were in Florida.
Yeah, well, they're pretty much the same site. Like, there's different names, but there's the same content.
Bum Fights was from back in the day before YouTube existed.
Right, but this guy started on the Bum Fights thing.
Wow.
And he became a MMA fighter. He's probably since retired because he was damn near 50 years old.
So the madness continues. We've been, I don't know how many years we've been paying attention to Black Friday here on Free Talk Live. It's just, I'm fascinated by it.
Probably as long as you've been doing Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in the very beginning. I don't know about that. But certainly for a long time, longer than I can recall, we've been talking about this. And it's hard to really say one year's worse than another. I think now we see more video because a decade ago there weren't as many smartphone devices in people's hands, and so you really kind of get a greater feeling of the scope of the madness. Now, of course, Darryl, you pointed out that your understanding of, you didn't experience it, but from Conan, was that it was relatively orderly at the Walmart in Keene. And I think that you do have different experiences in different areas. I mean, it's not like there are 1,000 videos that come out of people fighting. There's only probably 10 or whatever in any given Black Friday. They only really show you the worst scenes. In other places, there might be small disagreements over, I got to it first or whatever, but it doesn't transpire into fisticuffs.
I don't know if I have ever actually gone out to purchase stuff intentionally on a Black Friday.
Really? I did it once just to have the experience, and it was relatively, calm. People were friendly toward one another, and this was down in Sarasota, Florida, where it wouldn't have been freezing cold like it is in a lot of places during Black Friday. And so, people are waiting outside. It's a nice. I thought it was a nice experience. I mean, most folks were friendly and they were kind of chatting with each other in the line. I even know a guy who met his girlfriend in a line at a video game store on a Black Friday sale.
Oh, it's always great when nerds find love.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool story. So this video, I want to play the audio. We didn't get a chance a few moments ago. So here's a shorty. It's about 24 seconds long. You got a line of customers, a swarm, I think would be a better term, swarm of customers coming in to a store in Saginaw, Michigan, what was presumably either early this morning or late last night. The clip shows shoppers tumbling over a pile of vegetable steamers before one woman grabs the steamer being held by a child who looks under the age of 6. So
now, vegetable steamer, is that a brand of vegetables, or is that
it's a thing? It's a kitchen device.
Okay, so it's something that you steam vegetables in.
So the box is, relatively small, maybe a foot by a foot square or whatever, or cubed, I suppose. And so playing this audio here, of which there isn't very much. Basically, people come in. The pallet is stocked full of these things. It's maybe more like a half pallet. It's not even as tall as a person.
Okay.
So it's short enough to where somebody just splays themselves out across the top of it and spills all of these things immediately. So like the rush of customers oncoming, they just spill the entire pallet all over the floor by falling onto it.
So I want to know, are these vegetable steamers made out of glass or is it some sort of, like thick plastic sort of thing? Because if it's glass and you've got some idiot diving on top of them,
they're in boxes.
How? Right.
Yeah.
But Ian,
it could be bad.
If you have a 200-pound man jump on a bunch of things that are in boxes that are made of glass, some of them will break.
No, I got you. His weight would have been whoever it was, and it's hard to see in the video because it's just this crowd rushing to reach it. It's more than one person. It's like one or two people. And their weight is going to be distributed among several boxes. It's not like they were just stomping on a single box.
Right, but still, like if you're jumping onto boxes,
it was more like a fall, like falling onto the whole pallet and sort of moving them all out of your way at the same time.
But there's still going to be a few of them
there could be some
under
broken
this
product.
person.
There
could be damaged product.
There could very well be broken product here, and so anyway, a little kid picks up one of the boxes, and a lady in a red coat just. Now, the irony of this statement is the woman shrieking about being aggressive and being scared is the woman who stole the box in the first place. We'll talk about it. You can share your thoughts. It's Free Talk Live.
CatieArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? Katie offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to CatieArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to CatieArmor.com. That's CatiiArmor.com. Come and take it.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you? Liberty activists are joining the Free State Project, which is over 85% of the way to its goal of 20,000 participants. And they're already making the move to New Hampshire. The successes are piling up and are proving the Free State Project is a real movement and no longer just a great idea. When you're planning your move, consider Keene. Keene is famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation, and there's plenty of political opportunity as well. If you're a regular reader of freekeene.com, you know there's a lot going on in Keene. Keene is the liberty media capital of the world, with television, talk radio, and more, all originating here. Though it's more than just activism, with regular social events each week. See what's happening at freekeene.com and get connected with video, audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can download and use in your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. You can listen to Free Talk Live on the radio, podcast, satellite, webcam, and our live streams. But did you know you can listen to Free Talk Live from any phone, anywhere? Add this number to your phone, 213-493-0308. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The listen lines are airing the latest episode of Free Talk Live 24 hours a day, including our live shows. Call 213-493-0308. That's 213-493-0308.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, Black Friday edition. Hopefully there won't be any fights breaking out in the studio here tonight, Darryl.
Hand me my vegetable steamer that I don't even have.
We're going to get back into that audio here in a moment of the woman shrieking about another woman being aggressive against her when the other woman was only trying to get the vegetable steamer back that the first woman snatched out of a child's hands. That happened today somewhere in America. And I just posted on our Facebook page. You can go to facebook.freetalklive.com. I posted a link to the InfoWars piece, which has about 5 videos linked on it. So if you have a video that, we have not seen yet, and we probably haven't because we've really only seen like 1 or 2. So whatever you think the worst video is from Black Friday 2015, go to facebook.freetalklive.com and then post it as a reply on the one that I just posted, so we can kind of keep a running tally of the worst of the worst. Now, of course, if you're sane, you probably don't want to go into a situation like this. So you might want to stay home and order all your stuff online. And one of the things you should get for yourself or for a loved one this year is ProXPN. It's a great gift to share with somebody who isn't protected online. Someone who's not encrypting their internet connection with ProXPN is someone who could have their their private information not so private anymore, or at least what they thought was private, sold to other companies or given away to the government.
Or the ISP could send them a naughty letter of, "We know what you downloaded."
That happened to a friend of ours recently. He got a threat from his internet service provider over some sort of movie that had been downloaded 2 years previous or something ridiculous like that. So ProXPN can stop that from happening. You go to proxpn.com and use code FTL50. You'll save 50% off of the regular monthly price when you order the annual account at proxpn.com. Whether you're on Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, or Linux, it's super easy to get started, and ProXPN does not keep logs of your online activities. So go to proxpn.com, use code FTL50, and take back the privacy that is your right. Let's go to the phones and to your thoughts. Jeff, listening in Illinois, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl.
Hey, you guys.
Hi, Jeff.
It's so crazy, all the malls and how people go out there. I do wood carving, and they should be coming. Some of those people, I couldn't handle those mobs, but some of those people should be having me make custom things for them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting the junk that's mass produced in China and that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's certainly a nice gift, a handcrafted, unique thing that someone has made. That's always a nice thing to receive, for sure.
I had a guy build a website. If I could tell you what it is, if you want to, it's.
You can have one plug. Go ahead.
Okay, it's woodbyjeff.com.
All right, so if you want to buy some advertising, though, get in touch with Mark over at mark@freetalklive.com, and then we can actually talk about your product in a meaningful way. Thanks for the call tonight, Jeff. I appreciate it. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. This isn't really a free plugs show, but, Jeff's called often enough, so figured I'd give him one. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio here tonight, 855-450-3733. The scene from some store, I'm not sure where this is. It doesn't even say in the InfoWars article, but it's a new video to me. It apparently happened earlier today. A crowd of customers crashing into a display full of vegetable steamers. Then one lady in a red sweater of some sort snatches one of these boxes out of the hands of a small child. Now, to be fair, the mother also had at least one of the boxes in her hands as well. So, you could argue, I guess, that the mom should have only had one box instead of using her child to acquire more than one box.
Maybe she was trying to buy the other one for a family member. I want to buy this vegetable steamer for my mother because hers broke.
It's possible.
And I would like to have a vegetable steamer for myself. So, all right, little Johnny, you carry one and I carry one.
So they come in, they crash into the pile, and then the first thing you see, it looks like, so mom has two. Mom's holding two vegetable steamers. Little kid has one. Woman in red comes up, snatches a vegetable steamer out of the little kid's hand, and maybe there wasn't a minimum. Sometimes it's like you can only get one thing, right? Like maximum one per person. Maybe there wasn't a max, or maybe there wasn't a maximum in this particular case. But even if there was a maximum, the appropriate time or the appropriate way to deal with that would be to, I don't know, talk to the store management, because they're going to stop her at the register.
Right.
She's going to get to the register holding three of these vegetable steamers.
Sorry, ma'am, you can only buy two vegetable steamers.
Right. And then if you're standing there waiting to get one of them, then you would get the next.
I want the vegetable steamer!
You'd get dibs. But instead, this lady decides she's going to take the vegetable steamer into her own hands, and she just grabs at it, snatches it away, and then... And it's so funny because the lady who's saying, "Get off of me, why are you being so aggressive, you're scaring me," is the woman who, I'm almost certain it's the woman who stole the vegetable steamer in the first place. Because what happens is the mom tries to get it back. She's grabbing at the vegetable steamer. It was taken from her little kid.
Right.
She's grabbing at the vegetable steamer. She grabs the lady, and it's not a real, they're not fighting with fisticuffs necessarily. Nobody's hitting each other in the face. She's just grabbing this woman, trying to prevent her from getting away while she can try to wrest the vegetable steamer back away from her. And ironically, the woman yells about being aggressed upon.
And what is everybody else doing in here?
Scrambling.
Looking around and, not doing anything to break up the melee?
I don't even know if anyone's paying attention to it. I mean, the person with the camera is definitely paying attention to it because they sort of pan over and focus on that. But everyone else is just scrambling. It's clearly, every man or woman for themselves here. They're just busy picking up the other boxes that are on the ground to even notice what's going on nearby them. Let's go to Tom in Nashua. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl. Hello there.
Yeah, last Friday I had the opportunity of addressing a couple of the presidential candidates at their campaign stops here in New Hampshire. I'm good at that because I raise my hand first. Right at the moment that they open it up is when I raise my hand. Don't be shy. Right up quick and fully. John Kasich, the governor of Ohio, and I addressed him about one of my gripes, which is that they would rather impose underage drinking laws on somebody else than impose tougher drunk driving laws on themselves. I said, Governor, on March 2nd, 2006, there was a nasty crash in Burton, Ohio, where the drunk driver already had 11 drunk driving convictions. But at least he was not drinking underage. When he crashed head-on into a car with 3 Hiram College students, but at least he was not buying for them. 2 of the students never got a chance to drink alcohol legally because so many politicians would rather impose the drinking age on somebody else than impose tougher drunk driving laws on themselves. And my question is, how can your government forbid businesses to discriminate against same-sex couples?
So they hadn't They hadn't snatched the microphone out of your hands by this point?
Oh, no, there was no microphone. It was a smaller meeting. But I said, how can your government forbid businesses to discriminate against same-sex couples and then turn around and force businesses to discriminate against people younger than 21? Okay, and I got the answer. By the way, I found out that his parents got killed in a drunk driving crash in 1987. But then I got the chance later that day to address U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham.
Well, wait a minute. What did this guy say?
Well,
Did he blow you off?
He said that he thinks that they did, in fact, toughen up the repeat offender laws in Ohio and in response to that crash. He feels that they have very tough drunk driving laws, but that means you don't need the drinking age. Okay?
I've got a question about this crash that you're talking about where you're saying that the government doesn't want to enforce the drunk driving laws against themselves. Was the driver a government employee?
No, but he would, in order to crack down on drunk drivers, of course, then they would be subject to the same drunk driving
standards. Tom. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Pop quiz for all business owners. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, which one of these can you lose? Your home, your car, or your life savings? The answer? All 3. Because if you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Once business owners realize the risk of not being incorporated, they usually scramble to incorporate or form an LLC. To make it quick and easy, Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners, so you can incorporate in just 10 minutes. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now, 1-800-915-1027. Protect your financial future. At Incorporate.com, they don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide. 1-800-915-1027. Hurry while supplies last. 1-800-915-1027. That's 1-800-915-1027.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at disappearingwealth.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to disappearingwealth.com. Again, that's disappearingwealth.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at downsizedc.org.
Did you know that you can listen to and watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cam at cam.freetalklive.com? Not only that, but you can also chat with other listeners at the same time. Do I need to mention that both the studio cam and chat room are totally free? Outside of Free Talk Live's live hours, you won't see a cam feed, but will hear audio from the Liberty Radio Network. So listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, the live Black Friday edition. We're here for you. You can join us toll-free. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
And we've got a website. Go to freetalklive.com, and you can get your shopping done right now. You go to shop.freetalklive.com. There are links there to Amazon and even Walmart. You can go and get your shopping taken care of and feel good because Free Talk Live gets a portion of your purchase price. When you enter through the links, you'll find there, and there's shopping links for Amazon US, Amazon Canada, and Amazon UK. Just go there and get what you need, get what you want, and help Free Talk Live all at the same time. It's a great option. Helps keep you home, keep you away from the crowds, away from the insanity and the madness and the parking and the cops and everything else that's out there. Why not just get it done from the comfort of your home or your office, your tablet, your smartphone, wherever. Shop.freetalklive.com. As we go back to Tom in Nashua, he was explaining to us how in New Hampshire it's relatively easy to corner some of these presidential candidates. And Tom, you were telling us one of the stories about that. I think that's where we left off. Go ahead.
Yeah, and somebody was asking about this crash. The drunk driver with 11 prior drunk driving convictions. Well, yes, they tightened up on the repeat offender laws after that, but if, of course, good sound logic tells us if the drunk driving laws are tough enough, then you don't need the drinking age. And it's mostly a matter of politicians, and most voters would rather impose the drinking age on somebody else because they can drive better drunk than teenagers can sober. But anyway, then I got a chance to talk to Senator
So what do you
Lindsey
think
Graham.
the punishment should be for somebody that gets in the vehicle that is, and they're legally intoxicated?
That I don't know, but it's a matter of logic that if the punishment is enough, then you don't need the drinking.
Death penalty?
Stop picking on people. Yeah, no, it's you should not pick on people under 21. Is the point I'm making? It's
I
anyway.
realize that's the point you're making, but you also espoused a premise that if the punishment is tough enough, you won't have the problem. So I'm trying to figure out what you think the punishment should be.
I don't know, but I'd like to talk about cornering Senator Lindsey Graham.
That's a cop-out.
So death penalty, life in prison.
I mean, doesn't the evidence show that cracking down on things doesn't actually really stop it?
Yeah, there was a guy when I lived in Pennsylvania. He had a suspended license since 1984 and had gotten, I believe it was 23 additional DUIs after his license was suspended, showed up to the court hearing for the 27th DUI total, and he was drunk, and the guy that drove him to the court hearing was also drunk.
Now, when I spoke to U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, I said, Senator, on October 3rd, 2013, the U.S. Secret Service and United States Capitol Police brutally murdered a Connecticut woman after she was navigating the streets of Washington, D.C. and made a wrong turn at 15th and E Streets near the White House.
Didn't they shoot the hell out of her car?
Yes.
None of those murderers are facing any criminal charges, unlike the North Charleston,
Well,
South
that's what you get for
Carolina
going the
cop.
wrong way down a one-way street in Washington, D.C.
So none of them are facing any criminal charges, unlike that North Charleston, South Carolina cop that is at least being prosecuted. What are you going to do as president to guarantee that if a federal cop murders somebody, then the federal cop will definitely get the death penalty, the same as a person can get the death penalty for gunning down a federal cop? And he paused for a second and said, shaking his head, I don't think I'm going to get your vote. And John McCain, who was campaigning with him, stepped up to mutter the usual garbage about have an investigation and follow the procedure and yada, yada,
Blah,
yada,
blah,
which, of course, was done, and it didn't work. So
it never does. Thanks, Tom, for trying to hold him accountable. I mean, they're politicians, so of course they're going to dodge. And
We're going to investigate ourselves and find that we did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, by him saying, well, I guess I don't have your vote, is basically him saying, yeah, our cops can murder whoever they want. I'm not going to do anything about it. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. So whether it's scoring presidential candidates, as you've been working on this presidential season, Darryl. You've gone out with me a few times, and I think you've probably been out more than I have.
I've gone out a few times on my own. There have been a couple of candidates that I've not been able to get out to attempt to corner.
But they're still coming. We still get a little ways to go before the New Hampshire primary in, January?
Date's not set yet. It's probably going to be like February 9th.
Okay.
But date is not officially set because they've got to wait on other states to finalize when their primaries are.
Because New Hampshire always wants to be first. So when
there's a statute in New Hampshire law that says that New Hampshire's primary must be 1 week prior to any other primary.
Wow. That's so funny.
Iowa, because Iowa has a caucus, the caucus can be before the primary.
Right.
But they've got to wait on other states. And I think that there was one state, and I know where you're going here. There was one state that tried passing a statute in their state saying that they were going to have the first primary in the country.
Yeah.
And then it would wind up basically being dueling Secretary of States of who can have the first one, and then eventually somebody would be like, our primary was yesterday.
Yeah, what would happen if some other state passed a law saying, well, our primary has to be 2 weeks before or whatever?
You would have Bill Gardner, who's the New Hampshire Secretary of State, and this other Secretary of State just constantly putting the things on the calendar prior to one another until eventually somebody says, our primary was yesterday and this person won.
But they wouldn't be able to do that because they'd have to announce it in advance and plan for it.
Right, but there's only so far back you can go from 1 week before this one to 2 weeks before that one.
And there wouldn't be any standing to sue in either of those cases, right? I mean, they're state governments. They can write whatever statutes they want. So it would basically be a standoff, and no one would have a primary.
It would be a standoff. It would somehow wind up, I speculate, wind up going to a federal court for a federal court to decide something.
Maybe they'd give it to New Hampshire because they had it longest or something like that.
It's like when there's border disputes between two states of where exactly the line is. Mm-hmm. Because both states have written in their statutes the border is here.
Right.
And then somebody has to step in and say, okay, so the river used to go here, so this little patch of land on the west side of the Missouri River belongs to this state, and this patch of land on the east side belongs to this other state, even though you can't get there without going into the other state to get to that patch of land.
So the Black Friday video we played a little bit earlier. There's some other ones. I posted it on facebook.freetalklive.com. It is Black Friday, Americans brawl over vegetable steamers. And if you've got a crazy Black Friday video, go ahead and post yours. Not necessarily that you took it yourself, but if you did, that's great. But if you know of one, if there's one on the internet that you want to include in our list there, please add it to it. I'm interested in seeing it just because it's a spectacle. It's ridiculous. It's amusing. But there's some more serious stuff happening on Black Friday, and it's still in relation to Black Friday. There's a major protest that went on today, apparently in Chicago, with thousands of people marching on Chicago's most prestigious shopping street, disrupting business today, one of the busiest retail days in the United States, Black Friday. Now, this is about the shooting death of a black teenager by a white police officer. That's the shooting death that we discussed a few days ago on the show, where a caller called up to explain it to us, where a guy was shot like 15 or 16 times, most of which when he was lying on the ground bleeding.
Face down.
Yeah, being shot while lying on the ground. So people are pretty rightfully upset about this, and I think it's an interesting choice of day to do this protest, because if you're going to do a protest, you want people to see you. And Black Friday on the most prestigious shopping street in Chicago seems like a darn good location to hold a protest.
Yeah.
Now,
I wonder how many people that were out shopping yelled at these protesters, "Get a job!" Because that's the standard thing to get thrown out at anybody doing any kind of protest is get a job. Well, what are you doing right now other than yelling at me to get a job?
Right. Get a job on one of the days of the year when very, very few people are actually at work.
Right.
I mean, there's plenty of people. If you work in retail and you're not working today, then something's wrong. But most people still have the day off from like regular jobs.
Right. Because, the holiday is on Thursday, so everybody take off Friday too.
So we'll talk about Chicago. And also, Darryl, you've got a story. Someone's crunched the numbers and figured out that it's actually the Bible Belt is one of the most dangerous places to go for Black Friday.
Yes.
Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. We'll share all that with you. And if you were actually in Black Friday today, either as a customer or as a retailer, would love to hear from you. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Are you searching for your soulmate? Someone you can trust, who will never betray you or cooperate with the NSA? Stop searching. With EasyDNS, you found a keeper. EasyDNS does it all. Domain names, web hosting, and managed WordPress hosting. EasyDNS stands up for your internet freedom, and with servers in Canada, they do not cooperate with the NSA. Go to EasyDNS.com. You'll love their services or get a full refund. They guarantee it. And they accept Bitcoin. That's EasyDNS.com.
Currency is too important a thing to be left in the hands of government bureaucrats, especially when billions of dollars can be created with the swipe of a pen. Overstock.com supports the cryptocurrency movement because it returns the power of an inflation-proof money to the people where it belongs. Did you know that you can use Bitcoin to pay for anything Overstock.com sells while enjoying free shipping on orders of 0.211 Bitcoin or more? If you support freedom in the cryptocurrency movement, you should support Overstock.com.
SWCPoker.eu is Bitcoin Poker 2.0, where players can buy chips, play, and cash out anonymously with Bitcoin. No banking, just Bitcoin. Texas Hold'em, Omaha Hold'em, Draw, and many new games, including Chinese poker. SWC Poker gladly accepts players worldwide, and over 2 million hands of Bitcoin Poker have been dealt at SWCPoker.eu. Bitcoin Poker from the brand you trust. SWCPoker.eu.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate it 5 stars, then share the link on social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. That's apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, November 27th, 2015. Silver is trading at $13.98 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,053 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $358. Antiwar.com reports, following French President François Hollande's high-profile meeting with Vladimir Putin, Russia and France have announced they will engage in increasing cooperation against the Islamic State inside of Syria and will increase intelligence sharing on potential targets. Since the attacks in Paris by the Islamic State, France has been pushing for increased cooperation between the U.S.-led coalition they are part of and Russia on the fighting, though U.S. officials have been warning Hollande against letting cooperation on the Islamic State get in the way of the ongoing anti-Russia crackdown in Eastern Europe. Still, Russia has indicated openness to working together on the Islamic State from the start, and Putin insists that he still is, despite Turkey destroying one of their bombers earlier this week, a move which greatly increased Russia-NATO tensions. Hollande and Putin did, however, disagree on the future of Syrian President Bashar Assad, with Hollande insisting he has to immediately leave power, and Putin insisting the post-Syrian president is entirely up to the Syrian people. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports leaders at the United States Military Academy announced pillow fights have been banned in response to the bloody pillow melee that left some 30 freshman cadets injured at West Point in August. The annual pillow fight has long been a tradition at the school as a way for plebes, or first-year students, to bond after intense summer training, but 3 months ago the tradition went awry after several cadets put hard objects, including helmets, into their pillowcases for the fight. At least 24 people were left with concussions. One person was knocked unconscious. Academy Superintendent Lieutenant General Robert Caslin said the incident showed that such unprofessional spirit events have no place in the future of the Academy or in the development of the Army's next generation of leaders. Other officials at the school said the pillow fight was not an officially sanctioned event, nor was it based on any long-standing tradition. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports retailers across the United States offered early Black Friday discounts to lure bargain hunters on Thanksgiving Eve, but initial checks showed crowds in brick-and-mortar stores were subdued even as online sales jumped. Craig Johnson, president of the Consumer Growth Partners, said it's still early and from what we're seeing so far the crowds are good but not great. The retail consultancy has 18 members studying consumer traffic in different parts of the country. However, many stores were packed. At Toys R Us in New York's Times Square, a line of about 200 shoppers hemmed in by barricades stretched to the corner of 45th Street and towards 6th Avenue, where the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade had just ended a few hours earlier. The first shoppers through the door cheered as they were greeted by store employees donning Santa hats. The rush on the night of the U.S. holiday, a month before Christmas, reflects the new normal in the United States for holiday shopping, which was traditionally kicked off the next day, Black Friday. In an effort to attract the most eager holiday shoppers and fend off competition from Amazon.com, U.S. retailers have increasingly extended their holiday deals by opening stores on the evening of Thanksgiving. This hurt customer turnout on Black Friday last year, a trend analysts and consultants expect will repeat this year. Shoppers in the United States spent more than $1 billion online, 22% more than last year, between midnight and 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, according to the Adobe Digital Index, which tracked 100 million visits to 4,500 U.S. retail sites. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Sources at the video streaming service Netflix reported today that they had sent local man Shane Fowler a personal message earlier just checking to see if everything was okay after the 31-year-old watched an entire season of the FX program Sons of Anarchy in a single viewing session.
Well, we happened to notice that Shane had been sitting in front of his laptop and had burned through all 13 episodes of the first season of Sons of Anarchy. So we thought maybe we could send him a note and just sort of make sure he was doing all right, or if he needed someone to talk to or something.
Netflix says the message, which Fowler received minutes after he finished viewing the season 1 finale of the motorcycle gang drama, was just a way for the company to see if there was anything they could do for their longtime subscriber.
I mean, we do this stuff all the time. Just last year, Mike Ralston from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, watched all 4 seasons of The Tudors after his wife left him. We were there for him. We just like to check in on our customers from time to time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here, the Black Friday edition of the show. We're here live with you tonight. It's Ian
and Darryl.
Join us online over at freetalklive.com. Brand new website, redesigned for 2015. Please head over there and get interactive. You can actually suggest show topics to us, and we might just use those on the air. You can go to freetalklive.com to do that. There's also the brand new Free Talk Live blog, which you can reach by clicking FTL News on the front page of the site. And please enjoy. It's totally free. freetalklive.com. In the first hour, we talked about some of the video that's out there from this year's Black Friday, the insanity, the madness of people fighting over, in this case, in one of the cases that we played on the air, a food steamer, a vegetable steamer. One woman steals the vegetable steamer out of the hands of a small child during the melee or the fracas that surrounded a crowd of people rushing into a store and then literally falling onto the pallet full of food. There's another one with some teenagers in a brawl. Another one with a large crowd of people that there appear to be at least 2 or more than 2 women fighting amongst this crowd, and then it just sort of becomes this mass of people moving about and trying to stop the fight or stepping in and assisting or whatever. It's just crazy.
I wonder if within like the next 5 years, there's actually going to wind up being a television program about Black Friday.
About all the fights? You mean? Well, I'm sure somebody's already doing it. I mean, you've got InfoWars put up a blog where there's several different
That's a website.
videos. I understand that, but it wouldn't be very hard for somebody to put together a TV program with all the content. I mean, you know, they could just keep playing the footage back and reanalyzing what's going on in there, like play-by-play kind of footage, you know, with the little drawing on the screen. You know, they do that with football games, like draw the arrows and, well, the quarterback went back here and he passed the ball to the receiver. You know, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know if it would be really interesting.
I'm just thinking it would be sort of like, you know, in Idiocracy, there's the Ow My Balls.
Yeah. This is that level, I would say. Yeah. And I'll admit, I'm entertained by it. You can join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, especially if you've got an experience you want to share. Maybe you were out and about today during the Black Friday. Maybe you work in retail. Maybe you were one of the customers today. So far, not impressed with what has been posted on the Free Talk Live Facebook page. Not really much of anything. Somebody claiming the video looks like a hoax, which is ridiculous. I mean, come on. The woman who stole the...
Well, it is on InfoWars, so, you know, like, take everything from there with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, this is being posted in a lot of places. InfoWars is just one of the myriad of places that has reposted this particular video with a lady snatching a vegetable steamer out of a little kid's hands. I think it's a little paranoid to suggest that somebody would have taken the time to make a fake Black Friday fight video, which involves a crowd of people. It would be relatively expensive to hire a crowd of people to come in. But even if you were going to argue that the only people that were in on the video were the 2 women and the child, who are all actors amongst a real Black Friday sale, still, that's I would say that's in the realm of paranoid conspiracy theory.
Yes.
So, toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE. There's a pretty big protest that went on in Chicago today. Thousands of people in the streets. This is from Reuters, marching in Chicago's most prestigious shopping streets on Friday, disrupting business on one of the busiest U.S. retail days to protest the shooting death of a black teenager by a white policeman and the city's handling of the case. About 2,000 protesters, some holding signs reading "Stop Police Terror," gathered in a cold drizzle for the march on Chicago's Magnificent Mile, which closed the major city street of Michigan Avenue to traffic on the traditional Black Friday shopping day after the Thanksgiving holiday. Organizers said the rally, led by activist politician Reverend Jesse Jackson and several state elected officials, was a show of outrage over the October 2014 death of Laquan McDonald, age 17, and what they see as a racial bias in U.S. policing. You know, this shouldn't be about racial bias. And I understand the tendency for people to want to go in that direction, and I don't doubt there are racist cops. I know, in fact, there are racist cops. It's a guarantee. How many of them are racist? I don't know that. But there's absolutely racist cops out there.
Yes.
But there are plenty of cops who will, they'll just use violence against people in an unnecessary manner. And the stories where, a black cop uses violence against a black person don't get as much play. The stories where a white cop uses violence against a white person don't get as much play as the black or the white cop versus the black person. This isn't about racial bias. I don't want to see white people or Hispanics beaten equally as blacks. I want to see the beating stop.
Yes.
Of all human beings. But no matter. Protesters called for the resignation of the police superintendent and a top prosecutor for what they see as foot-dragging and stonewalling in the case. It took the prosecutor 13 months to announce charges in the case on Tuesday, and hours later, a graphic video of the shooting was released to comply with a court order. Police officer who shot McDonald 16 times, Jason Van Dyke, age 37, was charged with first-degree murder and denied bail until a second hearing next Monday. His lawyer has said the officer opened fire because he feared for his life and the lives of other police officers when he saw that McDonald had a knife. Now, if he had a knife in the beginning when he was shot the first time and then ultimately ended up at some point on the ground, I don't know how many shots there were between when he was first shot and then ended up lying face down on the ground and continued to be shot. Not sure about that. But whatever it was, after the person is shot and they're on the ground, they're not that much of a threat to you.
Well,
I don't
when
know
they're
about that.
incapacitated, and the only thing that is happening is they're bleeding, they're not a threat.
Yeah, not a threat. I don't care how scared you are. You shouldn't have the ability legally to shoot somebody after they have already been shot and are now completely helpless and bleeding out on the ground. Call me crazy radical. And if you want to share your thoughts here, you're welcome to 855-450-FREE.
And I'm sure that there's somebody out there that is in some way going to try justifying this thing. Because there's always the people that try to justify every police killing.
Yeah, that's true. No matter how egregious, no matter how outrageous the circumstances in those killings, they'll come up with some kind of an excuse. If you've got an excuse for this killing, you're welcome to call in toll-free at 855-450-FREE. The police officer has finally been charged with first-degree murder. It took a year, 13 months actually, for that to happen. If you touched a cop in a way they didn't like, you'd probably be under arrest and charged that very same moment.
Yes.
It's unconscionable, said James Hinton, who's 49, joined the march holding a sign that read 13 months, 16 shots. He says it's unconscionable that the police officer who killed Laquan McDonald was able to sit at a desk for over a year and draw a paycheck, unquote. The protesters chanted, "Stop the cover-up, 16 shots," as they marched along Michigan Avenue. Shoppers on the second and third floors of a Crate and Barrel could be seen lining up along windows, taking pictures with their phones of throngs of protesters in the streets. Again, 2,000 people at least attending the protest. Groups of protesters locked arms to temporarily keep shoppers out of a few stores, but there were no major disruptions. Now, that's a level at which I don't agree with. I don't agree with actually physically getting in the way of people. I don't agree with stopping traffic. But, going outside and being in a place where there are a lot of people, you're going to get plenty of attention. You don't need to bar yourself, attach yourself to a front door of a business to get more attention. You're going to get attention, but it's not going to be the positive kind of attention when you do that. And you're already going to have enough people just hating on you simply because you're a protester who's disrupting someone's day.
If you want to latch yourself to something, do it to, I don't know, maybe a park bench that is part of the public sidewalk.
Or maybe to a government building. Like, I don't have a problem
Right.
with that. Like, if you want to go ahead and chain yourself to the police department's front door with another 20 protesters or whatever in a human chain, then by all means.
Do it to public property, but not private.
Toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The worst place to go for Black Friday shopping. Darryl has the details. The worst place in the United States, that is. 855-450-FREE. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
The following is an important free offer for smokers only. The makers of O2 Pure's revolutionary e-cigarette have just authorized the release of free starter kits to all smokers who call in the next 10 minutes. Valued at $99, these starter kits are available for free, but only while supplies last. To guarantee your free kit, call in the next 10 minutes, 1-800-717-8682. The advanced O2 Pure design creates a pleasant vapor. There is no foul-smelling smoke and no nasty tar. This allows individuals to enjoy the nicotine they love whenever and wherever they are. The financial advantages over cigarettes are considerable as well. It is estimated that the average smoker can save hundreds of dollars a month with O2 Pure. Again, free starter kits are now available to any smoker who calls in the next 10 minutes. This is a radio-only offer not available in stores, so call now for your free kit. 1-800-717-8682. 1-800-717-8682. 1-800-717-8682.
The following is an important holiday inventory announcement from IDStronghold.com.
As many of you have come to know, IDStronghold.com is the #1 name in quality RFID blocking wallets that actually do as they say and prevent electronic pickpocketing of the new RFID chips found in credit cards, room keys, subway passes, and more. Last year, due to the extreme popularity of giving ID Stronghold wallets and clutches as unique gifts at Christmas time, we ran out of our most popular styles and colors early. The good news is, we now have our holiday inventory ready for same-day shipping. We have added many more designs of beautiful leather wallets and clutches, all with state-of-the-art built-in electronic pickpocket shielding from the most respected name in RFID protection, IDStronghold.com. Don't wait and limit your choices of these great gifts. We are expecting another sellout season. These wallets aren't available in stores, so visit IDStronghold.com today. That's IDStronghold.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading on Black Friday, gold is down $14 at $1,059 per ounce. Silver is 14 cents lower at $14.19 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $355 US. For Black Friday, we're giving all profits to antiwar.com. Prices are down, prospects for more war are on the rise. Buy silver and support antiwar.com at the same time. Robertson Roberts is online at rrbi.co.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Live Black Friday edition of the program. Of course, you can bring up what you want. 855-450-3733. Still, anytime tonight, you can call in and share your Black Friday experience. If you have one, you're welcome to do that. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
Darryl, what's your Black Friday special? Don't you have one for fpp.cc?
I do. I currently have everything an additional 10% off. Everything's already 5% off with free shipping, so there's an additional 10% off.
So wait, does that mean 15%, or is it 10% after the 5%?
10% after the 5, so it's like 14.6.
Got it.
And then for the next 10 people that order between $20 and $200 worth of books and use the code BTC, you get an extra 20%.
Now hold on. Is it Bitcoin only?
Bitcoin only.
So you're not accepting PayPal? You're
no. Bitcoin only.
You did that a while back, right? You used to do alternatives to Bitcoin, like PayPal or whatever?
I used to accept PayPal, but I almost never wound up getting any PayPal orders.
Really? How are people they've always been paying with Bitcoin?
For the most part.
That's interesting because, it's...
Or barter.
I would imagine a lot of people, at least that are running businesses, are reticent to get away from the Federal Reserve note, the sort of the cash or credit card options out there. That can be a scary plunge to take.
Most of the sales that I make are either through Amazon or in person, so I don't get a lot of sales generally through the website.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not really losing anything by not taking PayPal on the website.
So if you want to go and check out Darryl's book selection and more stuff, like you post news items and essays and opinion pieces over at fpp.cc. You also have fppradio.com, where you have radio shows which you're continuing to produce throughout the holidays.
Yes.
So this morning, yesterday, you were cranking out the news for FPP Radio News, fppradio.com and fpp.cc. Discounts available, but you have to pay with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin or other altcoins. So there's one of the
Shapeshift.
Yeah. So one of the checkout alternatives is coinpayments.net, and they have integrated Shapeshift into their checkout.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what's the newest book over there that you're offering these days?
The newest book, I put out a republish of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, okay. 'Tis the season.
Yes.
So let's get back to Black Friday, Darryl. You have a story about the worst places to go to Black Friday. Is it the most dangerous? The most violent?
Both.
Okay.
So the people over at Estately, which apparently is a real estate website where they give you, like city profiles and state profiles, they decided they wanted to figure out where the best and the worst places were for Black Friday. So they crunched some numbers, and they say in order to determine just where the most dangerous place to participate in Black Friday was, we at Estately sought to determine where people are more likely to be participating in Black Friday sales and where people are most prone to violently attack each other. Our findings come from ranking each state 1 to 50 for these two data sets and then averaging the results. So they took Facebook users expressing interest in Black Friday to rank the enthusiasm for Black Friday sales. And then they also have crime reports that they got from the FBI, the frequency of aggravated assaults or attempts to cause serious bodily injury
on this
purpose.
One day.
Yes.
Okay.
So enthusiasm for abandoning one's family to participate in premature shopping is not a universal interest in America. According to Facebook user data, fewer than 2% of users express any interest in Black Friday sales in California and Hawaii, while over 10% in West Virginia and Kentucky do so.
Oh, okay, interesting.
As for which states are the most violent, that varies widely as well. Tennessee had the highest rate of aggravated assaults at 453.2 incidents per 100,000 people.
Wait, which one was that?
Tennessee.
And then you
Maine,
had Kentucky and West Virginia as the highest interest in Black Friday sales. Now, Hawaii obviously is an expensive place to live.
Yes.
I would presume the average income there is higher than West Virginia and Kentucky. Do you think that that economic strata is a factor here?
It could be. It could also, economics tends to affect a lot of things. So aggravated, aggravated behavior. People in lower income areas tend to get more aggressive, and there's more crime. And a lot of times people will look at it and is it correlation, causation? Is it poor because there's a lot of crime, or is there a lot of crime because it's poor? So, I
bet you could find poor areas.
There's certainly correlations, but you can't necessarily say that they're causations.
Yeah, I bet you can find poor areas where people are well behaved versus not so much.
Right. The state with the fewest incidents of aggravated assaults is Maine, with 66.9 per 100,000. So they crunched the numbers, the top 10 states, and this is in order of most dangerous shopping day on Black Friday. Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Missouri, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Indiana, Kansas, and South Carolina.
Wow, almost exclusively the Southeast.
With the exception of Indiana, Kansas, and Missouri, although it's arguable whether Missouri is part of the Southeast. It's just north of Arkansas.
Right.
And then as far as the best states, Rhode Island comes in at 40th, Colorado, New Hampshire 42nd, Utah, Washington State, Connecticut, Vermont, Oregon, New Jersey, Hawaii, and Massachusetts.
Interesting. So the Northeast and the Northwest, relatively uneventful places.
And Colorado.
So there you go. The Bible Belt, you said, was the worst of the worst, right? That's
worst of the worst. And then somebody in the comments on this thing posts the image of how religious are each state. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, all top 10. South Carolina, top 10. So
who would Jesus deck for a Veggie steamer?
That's a good question. Does he live in a state with front and rear license plates, or only rear? Because somebody posted that map as well, and the only state that was in the top 10 of what they say is the most violent places on Black Friday, only one of those states requires both front and rear license plates. That would be Missouri.
So yeah,
again, correlation is not causation,
right.
But these maps are really interesting to look at, and especially the data points that they show as far as assaults and then enthusiasm.
So this year, what's the worst of the worst? I haven't really seen too many of the videos yet, and I'm sure it'll be probably before tomorrow. Maybe we'll see more of them by tomorrow, but you can join us here. If you saw something today, you experienced something with Black Friday, you're welcome to join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In other news, there were protests at Walmart. So there were protests in the streets of Chicago with like 2,000 people, but other people are protesting at Walmart. We'll tell you about it.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USILVER for your free catalog, or go to OneSilverSolution.com. OneSilverSolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
There comes a time when you need custom embroidered or screen printed apparel for your business, organization, or a special event. Corporate Casuals has been helping people create great looking logoed apparel for over 25 years. They can produce a single piece or thousands using name brand apparel like Nike, Patagonia, Adidas, and Hanes. Create your logo in their online embroidery design studio or upload your existing logo and they'll turn it into embroidery. Go to corporatecasuals.com/FTL and include FTL in the order notes and save 5% on your order.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Does this ever happen to you? Moments after you're introduced to someone, you forget his or her name. It's a common faux pas you'll want to avoid, especially if you're a job seeker. And even if you're not, here's a tip. As you are being introduced, and while you're still shaking hands, smiling, and making eye contact, say the person's name aloud. Not only does that make a deposit in your memory bank, it acknowledges the other person. And that is more than a nuance, as is maintaining eye contact. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, Black Friday edition of the program, and you can join us right here toll free at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The protests out in Chicago in the streets were not the only protests going on in the country today. There were also protests apparently at Walmart. And we'll get into what those were about. Plus, of course, the out-and-out brawls that happened earlier today. There's even one video of a Walmart employee fighting with a customer. Now, you don't see the start of the fight, so you don't know what the issue was. But there's a lot of hair pulling and grabbing going on in that particular video. So you can still go to our Facebook page at facebook.freetalklive.com. I did post a link there to a few different videos of some of the fracas that went on earlier today. And maybe you know of a different one. You can post that as a reply, and then we'll see what the worst one is. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us on the air, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the detailed real news that lies between the lines of propaganda and the relationship we have with coercive governments. freedomsphoenix.com offers up-to-the-minute updates on the economy, technology, communications, and the rise of the police state. Go now to freedomsphoenix.com. You can get signed up for their free daily dispatch That's freedomsphoenix.com. Pound Fight for 15. That's the hashtag that apparently people are tweeting today. And
why did you say pound fight?
Pound, like the little pound symbol? Hashtag? I guess
yes.
It's hashtag is...
It's hashtag now.
Okay, but it used to be called pound, right? Like on the phone?
Yes.
The number sign thing on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. So now it's called hashtag. Hashtag Fight for 15. Pound is shorter. Why not go with pound? Just because it's confusing? Pound fight, I guess, doesn't really make much sense, right?
Yeah, it was like, what? I thought we were talking about Walmart workers. Now you're talking about like somebody setting up a dog fighting ring at the animal shelter.
Hashtag Walmart strikers. Hashtag fight for 15. Hashtag 15 full time. These are some of the tags that are on some of the signs outside of the Walmart, some Walmart somewhere. Reuters story here.
But before we continue,
Yep.
let me just say that I hope at some point in the near future, the whole fad of hashtag whatever goes away, because hashtags are stupid.
Yeah, I never really have been on board with it myself.
It's like a social media thing where you can search for stuff that people are tagging.
Right. Like, I get it. It's been a while. It took me a while to kind of get clued into Twitter and what was going on with Twitter. I like Twitter more now than I did previously because I've just hated Facebook more over the years.
I don't hate Twitter, but I find Twitter to be mostly useless for anything other than sharing links.
Yeah, and there is some use to Twitter as far as like you can maybe get the attention of someone who otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So like a Penn Jillette or something that certain people actually are using their own Twitter and they're not having like some assistant do it for them.
Right.
And so that is a way, it's sort of a new way of getting past a gatekeeper. So there's some value to it there.
And I realize that I sound completely hypocritical here because I will use Twitter when I'm covering court trials.
That's true, and it's useful for that.
Like the Robin Hoods, right? It's useful, but it's only one way. Like, you can't have conversations, or at least you can't have intelligent conversations
Not
on
140
Twitter.
characters, that's for sure.
There are very few things that I want to say that I can say in under 140 characters. So it makes it difficult when I'm reporting stuff in court to where, okay, how do I put this sentence into something, one, that's semi-intelligent, and two, that's less than 140 characters.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that simple is better, and I am a big fan of that. I do like simplicity. But on the other side, if it gets too simple, then it becomes confusing, and you don't want, that to happen.
People wind up using acronyms and abbreviations for everything. So there's, like ICMBG TF,
and then just throw a hashtag in front of it.
Hashtag awesome. And it's like, I have no clue what you're trying to say here.
Yeah.
And so then I have to go to Urban Dictionary to try to figure out what is trying to be said, and that's never good.
So that's one of the things about this protest here, that the photo is, it's a Reuters photo being used on a RT story, RT.com. You got a lady holding a sign that says hashtag Walmart strikers, hashtag fight for 15. And just on its own, that sign is kind of useless, right? Like, it doesn't really, holding a sign with a hashtag and then some words run together on it is, like, on the scale of signage, not particularly effective. Generally, if you want to make a sign, you want to make it simple, and that's simple. I'll give you that. But it also doesn't really have a message. It's just like, oh, if you know social media, then if you go to hashtag or search for hashtag Walmart strikers, then maybe you'll find some stuff related to this particular protest. Maybe.
Yes.
So, it doesn't really drive someone anywhere with a real sculpted message. Like if we were going to go out and do an event and let's say it was jury nullification, we'd have signs that said nhjury.com. on it to drive people to the site with the information that, well, anyway, that's critique from a protester aspect. But
I think I have used hashtags on signs a couple of times, but generally it's at the bottom of the sign below a message.
Right. Or, I could see it on a sign like if you had 10 signs, maybe one or two of them could have a hashtag on them or something like that. Anyway, on the most notorious retail shopping day of the year, Black Friday, Walmart workers and allied groups have been calling on the retail giant to raise pay to $15 an hour and offer more full-time work to millions of its employees. For the fourth year running, thousands of Walmart employees and others are attending demonstrations at more than a dozen Walmart stores across the nation, including in New York City, L.A., Oakland, and Detroit. Prior to Black Friday, the beginning of the Christmas shopping season in the U.S., more than 1,000 people, including hundreds of Walmart workers, fasted for more than 2 weeks. Now, I got to say, that's
what kind
of
fast are they doing?
That's an excellent question. I highly doubt.
Because, some people will say, I'm fasting from, and then name like one or two items. So there's, a limited fast, and then there's a all-out, I'm fasting from everything but water.
Yeah, there's no details here. I clicked on
the everything but water fast you don't really want to do for more than 24 hours if you're doing a fast.
It's kind of a dangerous thing.
Yes.
I'm looking here at the advocate.com, which is the link that RT linked to cite the fasting claim, and it's just there's no details on what they mean by the fast, at least not on that particular story.
I'm fasting from eating meals at work.
The demonstrations were led by the organization United for Respect, Hour, at Walmart, an organization made up of employees at Walmart, the second largest retailer in the world. Dozens of... Who's number one?
Probably Amazon now.
Really? I mean, Amazon's just all robots.
Yeah, but
I guess largest as far as revenue. I guess largest as far as revenue. I bet if it was like employees, Walmart would be number one.
Yeah, I'll check that real quick.
Yeah, now that would make more sense. Dozens of allied groups, including the United Food and Commercial Workers (UFCW), are joining our Walmart in their appeal for higher wages and less erratic work schedules. We, the hourly associates, are the lifeblood of Walmart, our Walmart said. Quote, our company is stronger because of the values we embrace, a strong work ethic, compassion for one another, and honesty, yet we are not treated with the respect we deserve. The fundamental desire to be shown respect is what led us to join together as our Walmart. The group is calling for Walmart to boost salaries to $15 an hour for full-time employees known as associates, more full-time opportunities to workers, more predictable and dependable schedules, an expansion of employee health care coverage, and more. We'll tell you more of their demands here in moments, and you can share how you feel about the Walmart protests. Maybe you were involved in it or you witnessed one of them today. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
Have you become a slave to big tobacco? Have they taken away your money, your health, and even your freedom, forcing you to stand out in the cold this winter? There's an alternative. With the help of Jimmy the Juice Man and GiantVapes.com, for less than the cost of a carton of cigarettes, you can make the switch to electronic cigarettes and take back your freedom. At GiantVapes.com, you'll find a selection of high-quality, reasonably priced electronic cigarette hardware kits to get you started, and a selection of delicious, premium, flavored liquid refills from the award-winning Jimmy the Juice Man brand. These aren't the junk you find at your local gas station. Use the coupon code FTL10 for 10% off your first order of hardware and Jimmy the Juice Man brand liquid at GiantVapes.com, where you will always get free guaranteed same-day shipping. Break free of the chains of sin taxes and big tobacco. Free same-day shipping and 10% off from GiantVapes.com. Giant, VAPES.com with coupon code FTL10.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at disappearingwealth.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to disappearingwealth.com. Again, that's disappearingwealth.com.
Free Talk Live.
Sometimes you have to do things in emergencies that you don't do in normal times.
Like lock up Japanese Americans?
Look, you don't believe in the internment of the Japanese Americans?
The hell I don't. I don't believe in locking somebody up for not doing anything wrong.
Let me tell you something. There were Japanese Americans who assisted Japanese soldiers in the Hawaiian Islands at that time.
So grab all the families and throw them in a concentration camp. That's a great solution, Lou. That's something that should happen in the land of the free, right?
See, I don't even like you using the term concentration camp.
That's what they were, Lou.
Because they were not death camps. They were.
It doesn't matter if there weren't gas chambers on the premises.
They were not death camps. You see, you're using euphemism.
I call them a concentration camp. You're concentrating people all in one location, Lou.
I don't, you're giving it an implication that it does not have.
I think you should go to the Japanese Americans and ask them, Lou.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cryptocurrency and peer-to-peer tech developments happen fast. Stay in the loop with the Daily Decrypt, a new video channel and podcast that will keep you on top of the latest innovations in crypto finance, security, networking, transportation, and gadgetry like drones and 3D printers. Subscribe to the Daily Decrypt on YouTube and SoundCloud and be an early adopter of the future. The Daily Decrypt.
You can watch the LRN Studio Cam and chat with other listeners anytime at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We're here. It's the live Black Friday edition of the show. With you in the studio, you've got Ian
and Darryl.
And you can join us online. Please go to freetalklive.com. Check out the Free Talk Live AMP program. You can support the show for $5 a month. And it's a great way to help Free Talk Live get on more radio stations, bring our satellite signal to new countries, and bring new internet listeners on board to expand and expose more people to the ideas of liberty than ever before. You can do it for $5 a month with any major credit card or PayPal, and now, finally, Bitcoin. So you can pay $5 worth of Bitcoin per month in Bitcoin. You can do it monthly. You can also do a prepaid one-time kind of, I want to buy a year's worth of AMP with Bitcoin. You can now do that. You never could do that before this week. I'm excited. I'm really glad it's finally here. People have been asking for it. And one of the coolest aspects of this is I made sure that we wiped out the billing info section for people that want to apply with Bitcoin. For people that want to buy or to amp up the show at amp.freetalklive.com, there's no billing info you have to fill out. Normally when you spend a credit card online,
right,
you got to give them name and address and everything else that you need to give them to make sure the credit card transaction goes through. Bitcoin doesn't require any of that stuff, so we just basically axed that part of the process. It's actually an easier sign up when you use Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. And you don't have to ask any of the bank's permission.
Yes.
You don't have to ask any credit card company's permission. There's no one else who controls a Bitcoin transaction besides you. So it's finally here. Bitcoin amping. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can be one of the first Bitcoin ampers behind Free Talk Live to help us spread the ideas of liberty. And now you can do it without even identifying yourself if you choose, which is cool.
And you're not doing the Cards Against Humanity sort of thing. I don't know if you saw that Dill, where
No.
Cards Against Humanity, you're familiar with the card
it's a
game.
good game. Card game.
Well, they were running a Black Friday special where they were selling people nothing for $5.
Okay. I don't get it.
Give us $5, you get nothing.
And did people actually do that?
I don't know if anybody did that, but I saw headlines that Cards Against Humanity was selling nothing.
That's pretty good that they got headlines out of it.
Yes.
So that's worth it right there.
So if you amp Free Talk Live, you get something.
You do, and thanks for reminding me. You do get access to the AMP-only call-in lines. There's an AMP-only podcast. There's also the AMP-only Facebook group, which is usually really active. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. So go to amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. Walmart protests happening again. It's like it's the
every
same
couple of months.
Every year. Well, I mean on Black Friday, it's the same stories over the last several years. Every single year, these people come out. Some of these Walmart protests are very, very small. There was a picture from Tampa, and there were 4 people outside of one of the Tampa Walmarts. That's a big city. I mean, Tampa's a big place, so they only got 4 people to come out, and that's
right.
because
But that's only one of the Walmarts in Tampa. I'm sure that Tampa's got more than one Walmart.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how many there were elsewhere, but it ranges from small to probably not really that large, ultimately, because most of the people at Walmart are at work. They're out there doing the retail job of handling Black Friday sales. You need everybody on the floor on Black Friday. I used to work in retail myself. I worked at the big Kmart back in the day in Florida. I think I got paid, $7-8 an hour or something like that back then. And now you got folks saying they want to get $15 an hour from Walmart. And I know that Walmart does pay above generally the minimum wage to start. So it's not even a minimum wage job, but they're saying it's not enough. They want to have this so-called living wage. And I understand where people are coming from. Who doesn't want to have more money at the end of the week to take home? I get that. But the thing that these folks don't know, and it's basic economics here, if you raise the minimum wage, then, and that may not be what they're calling for. I think they're just calling for Walmart to raise their wages, but I'm sure they would like to see it forced on them by a minimum wage if they could get that. If you raise the minimum wage, then you're not actually helping people. You're in point of fact hurting the people you intend to help. All the studies that I've seen show that that raising the minimum wage actually results in people that receive the minimum wage losing their jobs in some cases.
Yes. And then sometimes people that are making between whatever the minimum wage was and whatever the minimum wage now is going to be.
Yep, they get caught up.
Wind up getting caught up in it too.
And that also means the people who have, let's say the minimum wage is whatever it is right now, $7.50 or whatever it is.
I think it's $7.25. Although a few cities
they've raised it even more.
Raised it. True. Seattle is rolling up into a $15 minimum wage. New York State implemented something recently to apply only to fast food to make it $15 for fast food workers, but not any other people of any other food service, just fast food. But legal experts expect that will wind up being challenged and possibly overturned because of the scope.
Because it's discriminating, you mean?
Right. They're saying it only applies to one small segment. It should either apply to everybody or nobody.
So the minimum wage, it's not going to help people. You raise the minimum wage, you get certain results out of it every single time. And one of the real insulting things is, let's say it goes to 15. Let's say it goes from 7 whatever to $15 an hour. Well, right now in some places there are people making $15 an hour who've worked very, very hard to get up to $15 an hour.
Yes.
And then if all of a sudden all the newbies in the business, all the kids or whoever it is that's low skill that's just come into that particular business, they get bumped up to 15, they're probably not going to bump the guy who's making 15 up to 30 at the same time, right? Like they're not going to do that. So that person is then insulted that, hey, I've been here a decade and I've worked my butt off and I've been making $15 an hour because I've been here forever and, have added value to this company. And now this new kid who just walked in the door 5 weeks ago, he just got a bump up to $15 an hour because of this minimum wage increase. That's going to upset them. That's bad for morale.
Yes.
So you've got that factor, but also the economics of, look, if you're a mom and pop business and you're just barely making ends meet, as many businesses, they're not They're not rolling in dough. They're getting the payroll paid and then maybe getting the bills paid at the end of the month. If that's a situation you're in, then all of a sudden your payroll goes up because of government mandate. What are you going to do about it? You're not going to want to go out of business, so you might have to cut staff. That's where some of the firings can come into play. That's one of the ways somebody could get fired.
Or cut hours.
Right, and that's the other thing they want. They want both $15 an hour at Walmart, and they want more full-time positions. But Walmart, as I understand it, like a lot of businesses of its size, are cutting full-time positions because full-time positions means more benefits that are mandated by the government, like you know, Obamacare and whatever else that they have to throw into these full-time positions. So they know that if they keep people below 30 hours or whatever the arbitrary number is, that you know, then those employees won't qualify into those mandates, and so therefore they do everything they can to avoid that. And so you're not likely to going to get one or the other. I mean, you're not going to get both, likely, if you get one or the other. You're going to get the increase in the wage, or you're going to get an increase in hours.
I don't know if there's anything that could be done in the current paradigm of, you know, existence to where a government could mandate that no employee be part-time. Governments can mandate wages, but my understanding, unless there's like a major overhaul of, you know, employment contract law, you can't mandate that somebody not have a part-time employee.
I hope you're right about that. Sounds believable. If you want to share your thoughts with us, 855-450-FREE. The group is calling to Walmart. It's a group called Our Walmart. It stands for Organization United for Respect. It is an organization made up of employees of Walmart. And they are calling for a boost in salaries to $15 an hour for full-time employees, more predictable and dependable schedules, more full-time opportunities for workers, an expansion of employee health care coverage, a less hostile environment when employees speak out about issues at work.
I'm curious about this more predictable schedule thing, because most employees that are working for a retailer, after they've been there for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, they're on a set schedule.
That's my experience. And yeah, if you've been there for a while and you're a reliable person, then all you have to do to get a reliable schedule is ask for it, usually.
Well, and most of the time, the managers, they're going to want to have reliable thing to where I know every Tuesday I've got these people coming in for evening shift. Every Wednesday I've got this. If something happens, I can understand, you know, needing one or two people to float. Hey, I might need you to work a
That's
couple
what the part-timers are for.
Day shifts this week and a couple night shifts next week. But it's not, you know, you're working a day shift today and then you're coming in overnight, and then tomorrow you're working afternoon, so you're doing all 3 shifts within a matter of 36 hours.
Let's cover some of the more of these demands here by these Walmart employees. And is it even realistic to expect any of this? And is this the best way to achieve what they want? You know, maybe there's another option for them. And you're welcome to share your thoughts here on the Walmart controversy. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 3's coming up.
Are your kids spending too much time online? Are they gaming instead of doing homework? Are they on Facebook instead of sleeping? Turn their internet access on or off when you want for free at webcurfew.com. 100% web-based interface means nothing to download, install, or configure. Web Curfew is free and controls any device using your home network without slowing down your internet. Block all adult web content with a click of a button. Don't let the internet raise your kids. Take back control of how and when your home internet is used for free. Visit webcurfew.com. As a pioneer of the e-commerce movement, Overstock.com is proud to be the first major retailer to accept Bitcoin. Overstock was the first because Patrick Byrne, Overstock's CEO and founder, firmly believes in personal freedom and cryptocurrency. Over the past 16 years, Overstock has furnished over 18 million homes with a diverse line of products to suit everyone's unique styles and preferences. Support Overstock and freedom of choice while enjoying free shipping on orders of 0.211 Bitcoin or more.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the new Healing Our World is a great gift this Christmas for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, November 27th, 2015. Silver is trading at $13.98 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,053 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $358. Antiwar.com reports, following French President François Hollande's high-profile meeting with Vladimir Putin, Russia and France have announced they will engage in increasing cooperation against the Islamic State inside of Syria and will increase intelligence sharing on potential targets. Since the attacks in Paris by the Islamic State, France has been pushing for increased cooperation between the U.S.-led coalition they are part of and Russia on the fighting, though U.S. officials have been warning Hollande against letting cooperation on the Islamic State get in the way of the ongoing anti-Russia crackdown in Eastern Europe. Still, Russia has indicated openness to working together on the Islamic State from the start, and Putin insists that he still is, despite Turkey destroying one of their bombers earlier this week, a move which greatly increased Russia-NATO tensions. Hollande and Putin did, however, disagree on the future of Syrian President Bashar Assad, with Hollande insisting he has to immediately leave power, and Putin insisting the post-Syrian president is entirely up to the Syrian people. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports leaders at the United States Military Academy announced pillow fights have been banned in response to the bloody pillow melee that left some 30 freshman cadets injured at West Point in August. The annual pillow fight has long been a tradition at the school as a way for plebes, or first-year students, to bond after intense summer training, but 3 months ago the tradition went awry after several cadets put hard objects, including helmets, into their pillowcases for the fight. At least 24 people were left with concussions. One person was knocked unconscious. Academy Superintendent Lieutenant General Robert Caslin said the incident showed that such unprofessional spirit events have no place in the future of the Academy or in the development of the Army's next generation of leaders. Other officials at the school said the pillow fight was not an officially sanctioned event, nor was it based on any long-standing tradition. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports retailers across the United States offered early Black Friday discounts to lure bargain hunters on Thanksgiving Eve, but initial checks showed crowds in brick-and-mortar stores were subdued even as online sales jumped. Craig Johnson, president of the Consumer Growth Partners, said it's still early and from what we're seeing so far the crowds are good but not great. The retail consultancy has 18 members studying consumer traffic in different parts of the country. However, many stores were packed. At Toys R Us in New York's Times Square, a line of about 200 shoppers hemmed in by barricades stretched to the corner of 45th Street and toward 6th Avenue, where the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade had just ended a few hours earlier. The first shoppers through through the door cheered as they were greeted by store employees donning Santa hats. The rush on the night of the U.S. holiday, a month before Christmas, reflects the new normal in the United States for holiday shopping, which was traditionally kicked off the next day, Black Friday. In an effort to attract the most eager holiday shoppers and fend off competition from Amazon.com, U.S. retailers have increasingly extended their holiday deals by opening stores on the evening of Thanksgiving. This hurt customer turnout on Black Friday last year, a trend analysts and consultants expect will repeat this year. Shoppers in the United States spent more than $1 billion online, 22% more than last year, between midnight and 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, according to the Adobe Digital Index, which tracked 100 million visits to 4,500 U.S. retail sites. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following several months of negotiations, representatives at the Minnesota State Museum confirmed today that they have extended their final offer to the anonymous owner of the couch from the hit 1970s sitcom The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
We hope an agreement can be reached soon because after months of back and forth, we just need a straight answer here.
Healy noted that the brown velvet artifact would be a welcome addition to its media wing, which boasts a robust collection, including several iconic Minnesota pieces.
We have the fence from Grumpy Old Men. We acquired the puck from the Mighty Ducks several months ago.
Healy and his team made their first bid in December of 2012 and have cycled through 5 rounds of negotiations, reportedly tripling their initial offer in an urgent attempt to secure the sale.
It's not every day that an artifact of this significance comes on the market and went... Oh my God, it's him. It's him, okay? Hello, sir. What would you say if I went up another 2?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can join us here toll free, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The Black Friday madness. If you want to share your experience, you're certainly welcome to do so. Even if it's later on, maybe you're listening to us via podcast, you can always call us another time. We're live from 7 to 10 at night, every single night of the week, even throughout the holidays. And with you in the studio this evening, you've got Ian here.
And Darryl.
We were talking about, just kind of started the conversation in the last hour about Walmart. There are protests, or were protests going on today at various different Walmarts across the country. And the group, in this case, calls themselves Our Walmart, OUR, standing for Organization United for Respect. And apparently Walmart is now the second largest retailer in the world. Darryl, you did the research. Amazon surpassed Walmart this year.
In July of this year. And interesting enough, the Fortune 500 list comes out in June.
Yep.
So they still showed Walmart as the largest, but actually I did not see Amazon on their list. So they might not include
only brick and mortar.
Online only.
Yeah. And in that list, it's revenue, not employees.
Right.
So Amazon is highly automated, and that's probably one of the places where they're beating Walmart as far as their costs. I mean, when you run a business, it's payroll is your number one cost, as I understand it, in every business. And so Amazon's mostly robots picking products off of shelves and putting them in boxes, and there's a few humans sort of overseeing it, and that's about it.
Yes.
So anyway, Walmart workers are saying they want salaries to be $15 an hour for full-time employees, more full-time opportunities, more predictable and dependable schedules, an expansion of employee health care coverage, a less hostile environment when employees speak out about issues at work, a clearer protocol for enforcement of employee policies, better work standards within Walmart's global operations, and equal treatment for all employees, quote, regardless of gender, identity, race, disability, sexual orientation, or age.
Okay, so before we go through each of these things one by one, or we don't
We've touched on a
necessarily
few
need
of
to
them
go
already, but yeah,
on all of them, but the one about what was it? A workplace environment where you're allowed to speak your mind, basically.
Yeah, a less hostile environment when employees speak out about issues.
Yeah, so I've had jobs before to where, I've felt things weren't going the way they should have been, said something to supervisors. Every now and then they would care. When I worked for the airline, after the airline got reorganized, and instead of having 8 regional supervisors, there were now 16.
Whoa, okay.
They made a couple more regions, but then some of the regions had 2 regional supervisors. One of the regional supervisors, it wasn't. One of the regional supervisors came to Myrtle Beach, where I was living at the time, and they were asking different people, so what do you think about the newly reorganized company? And I told the supervisor what I thought about the newly reorganized company, where they had us doing
a mess.
More work with fewer people. I did not get the pay raise that I was anticipating, and it was harder for me to use my flight benefits. And this regional supervisor said, well, just be glad we didn't decide to fire everybody and that you still have a job. About a week and a half later, I put in my notice.
Okay.
So when I wind up feeling disrespected at a job, I don't
leave.
stick around. I leave.
Some people feel trapped at their jobs, Darryl. Have you ever felt that before?
I have.
Why?
Well, it's one of those things to where it's sort of like, you feel like you're in a rut of, I don't know how to proceed. I want things to be better in some kind of way, but I don't know how to make them better. And
You have no savings, maybe? Because that could be a hard thing, right? Like,
right. There are times no savings.
You're living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck. So I can understand being, feeling trapped, but still, like, do you want to take a risk of possibly being able to improve your situation, or do you want to continue being miserable?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of effort being poured into. I think that's an important question to really consider for people working at Walmart or any other low-skill job where the pay isn't very, very high. It can feel difficult to be in a situation like that, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But I don't believe anyone's really ever truly helpless, and I don't really believe that anyone is ever really truly trapped. Although circumstances can certainly make it seem that way. There's so much effort being put into protesting here. What if some of the effort and the time put into protesting was actually put into, creating other alternatives for you to make money doing something, whatever that might be, maybe starting your own home-based business or, manufacturing some sort of product at home and then selling it on Etsy or something like that. I mean, that's just a shot in the dark, but all the time
but
you're spending.
They don't have time to do any of those things because they never know where they're going to be working next. Because
I don't believe
Walmart just tells them, okay, we need you to come to work in 5 minutes and work until we tell you to leave.
No, it doesn't work like that.
I know, but that's where they're saying, like, we need reliable schedules.
You get your schedule in advance, a week in advance or whatever.
At least.
That's what you get. And outside of those.
Most of the employees at Walmart know what they're going to work just, indefinitely because they have a set schedule.
One of the problems, I think, is that people aren't entrepreneurial and they're not trained to be. They're not encouraged to be by the government system. They're told that, you're supposed to be this worker and you have to pick a field and then you work at that field until you're retired at age 65. Work in that industry until you're retired at age 65. And then, the rest of your life is good to go. And of course, it very rarely, pans out for people in exactly that sort of mystical that way. And so, what I think that people should be doing is being more entrepreneurial, but they're trained to be risk averse, and so they want someone to take care of them. They want that paycheck. They want to be able to count on it.
It's comfortable to have a guaranteed paycheck,
except it's not really a guarantee, is it? Because next week you could be fired, and then they don't owe you anything at that point. So it does feel comfortable.
People look at it as it's a guarantee. But as long as I keep showing up, I'm going to keep getting paid.
It's an illusion of comfort. That's certainly true. But it doesn't really exist because it could all be pulled out from under you in a moment's notice, as the airline representative indicated to you. And the one thing that Walmart has going for it is that there's always people who are going to want to have work. So right now, let's just say the wages are $10 an hour. These employees are demanding $15 an hour. If Walmart wanted to, they could say, oh, well, you guys, you're all fired and we're hiring for the Christmas season. Who wants a $10 an hour job? And then somebody who's out there who is hungry and they're looking to get any kind of work is going to step up and they're going to fill that role.
But to some degree, Walmart is sort of now the McDonald's of jobs. And what I mean by that is there are people that they've been out of work for a while.
Yep.
I'll do anything except for McDonald's or Walmart.
Oh, really? People are putting it on a blacklist, huh? Like
yes,
not even an
because
option?
they hear bad things about it, so
Yeah.
I'll do anything but that.
Well, in my opinion, beggars can't be choosers, and you should probably take whatever you can get if you're looking for work. But then again, there's also welfare, which can be a big draw for people. I mean, why work when you can collect a paycheck for not working?
Right.
There's no real incentive.
And that's one of the claims about Walmart is that people get paid so little that they have to, Ian, they have to rely on government assistance.
That's actually, did you read this article? Because that's actually the next paragraph.
I did not.
But it's
the argument that I hear all the time.
Here it is. It's coming from Our Walmart. That's the protest group here. Stands for Organization United for Respect. Quote, far too many of us have to rely on government assistance for our basic needs. The group added, Walmart should publicly commit to providing wages and benefits that ensure that no associate has to rely on government assistance. So, I wonder what percentage of Walmart employees are collecting welfare. That'd be an interesting breakdown to see. Is it 20%, 50%, 70%? I highly doubt it's the majority of them.
Everybody at Walmart, Ian.
But I don't know. I haven't worked at Walmart ever. I haven't worked in retail in a long time. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Are we out of touch here on Free Talk Live? This is Free Talk Live. Bring up what you want.
Have you become a slave to big tobacco? Have they taken away your money, your health, and even your freedom, forcing you to stand out in the cold this winter? There's an alternative. With the help of Jimmy the Juice Man and GiantVapes.com, for less than the cost of a carton of cigarettes, you can make the switch to electronic cigarettes and take back your freedom. At GiantVapes.com, you'll find a selection of high-quality, reasonably priced electronic cigarette hardware kits to get you started, and a selection of delicious, premium, flavored liquid refills from the award-winning Jimmy the Juice Man brand. These aren't the junk you find at your local convenience store or gas station. Use coupon code FTL10 for 10% off your first order of hardware and Jimmy the Juice Man brand liquid at GiantVapes.com, where you'll always get free guaranteed same-day shipping. Break free of the chains of sin taxes and big tobacco. Free same-day shipping and 10% off from GiantVapes.com with coupon code FTL10. That's GiantVapes.com with coupon code FTL10.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
hey,
whoa, whoa. Hey.
Who do you think you
Excuse
are?
me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait
now.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
What
am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate it 5 stars, then share the link on social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. That's apps.lrn.fm.
As a pioneer of the e-commerce movement, Overstock.com is proud to be the first major retailer to accept Bitcoin. Overstock was the first because Patrick Byrne, Overstock's CEO and founder, firmly believes in personal freedom and cryptocurrency. Over the past 16 years, Overstock has furnished over 18 million homes with a diverse line of products to suit everyone's unique styles and preferences. Support Overstock and freedom of choice while enjoying free shipping on orders of 0.211 Bitcoin or more.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us right here, toll free, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There are, of course, the usual requisite Black Friday fights going on today. We talked about some of that earlier tonight. You're welcome to still comment. If you were actually out and about for Black Friday, what did you observe? You're welcome to share your thoughts. 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
And if you don't want to go out and you don't want to deal with the crowds, and I don't recommend that you bother with that. And if you also want to save big time in your holiday shopping, just go to saveatpurse.com. How about 20% off? Whatever you want to buy from Amazon. How about 30%? It's pretty easy to get anywhere from 20 to 30%. You get up a little higher than 30, it might take a little while longer than otherwise. Like if you go with 20%, you'll get your order placed usually within a couple hours. Sometimes 30% you can usually get it within a few hours. And 40% you're getting into the range where it might not happen at all, or it might happen. You never know with saveatpurse.com.
And they even have the instant buy to where generally you can get 5% automatically. Today, because it's Bitcoin Black Friday, you get 10%.
It's incredible. Go to check out saveatpurse.com. When you sign up through that link, saveatpurse.com, Free Talk Live will get a very, very small portion of your future purchases. And it has to be a very small portion because I can't imagine they're making very much at all over at Purse because, well, the margins are super low. I mean, they're cutting Amazon's prices by 20%. So it's amazing, and it works. But don't take my word for it. Try it out for yourself. Save at Purse. SaveAtPurse.com. The protests outside of Walmart today demanding $15 an hour. Darryl, you actually found a statement from the Walmart CEO saying that wages are going up at Walmart.
Wages are going up. In February of this year, the chief executive, Doug McMillon, said that associates would make at least $9 an hour by April of this year, and associates are slated to earn at least $10 an hour by next February. And he also said that 75% of current management at Walmart began as hourly employees.
And worked their way up the chain.
And worked their way up.
Yeah, that's not a surprise to me at all. And obviously there's not, Walmart's not a perfect company. I've got my issues with it. I'm still willing to shop there despite whatever those issues are.
My main issue with Walmart is the fact that they rely in a lot of cases on eminent domain to wind up getting land to build a new store.
They have, I think in the past, and I don't know what their current status is on this, they've had some kind of censorship-oriented policies as well, like when it comes to the music and that they sell or certain books, for instance. So there's that as well about Walmart. But otherwise, I do like a lot about Walmart. I like that they drive prices down through sheer market strength. Like if you want to get your products on the shelf at Walmart, they'll demand that you have a more efficient production process. They'll actually come in and they'll audit your production facility and tell you where you can cut costs to, where you're spending too much, to where if you want to make that pair of jeans $9.50 49 cents versus $9.99. They can actually help companies figure that out, and I think that's pretty valuable. But I don't think that employees who are frustrated concerns should necessarily be minimized. But on the other hand, I also understand that Walmart wants to keep their prices as low as possible, and if you have to raise the prices of the people that you're paying, then the prices on the floor are going to have to go up.
Yes.
And the more that you raise, let's just say the minimum wage all around the country in various different places, you're going to see higher prices. You're going to see either jobs getting cut, you're going to see higher prices, you're going to see a cut in quality. I mean, there's really only a few different ways that a company can deal with a minimum wage increase.
Right.
And pretty much that's how, it will shake out. Or you'll also see not just job cuts, but you'll see automation instead. So like McDonald's. They're testing the automated order counters, the cashiers, the robotic cashiers, basically, the machines where you place your own order, essentially.
Good.
It is kind of a good thing, Darryl. I mean, the fast food workers, you've had this happen at Wendy's. They are notorious at the Keene Wendy's for screwing up your order. It got to the point where I believe you stopped going to Wendy's.
Yes.
Because almost every time you would go, they'd botch it up.
Yes. There's actually a gas station chain that's pretty big in Pennsylvania called Sheetz. And you can order food from there. And as long as I've known of this place, they've had the kiosk where you go and you punch in your order on the little screen. I love it. You don't have to, stand there and wait on somebody that's in front of you, not knowing what they want.
More than one screen, or is it?
They've got multiple.
Okay, so more than one customer can be punching in at the same time. That makes sense. And then it's just whoever gets the order in first, they get in then.
Yeah, so like you don't have to stand behind somebody saying, I want to wait. No, I don't want that. Oh, could I get the number 5, but instead of the crispy, could it be the grilled?
Sure.
And could you put that on the sourdough bun instead of the regular with the sesame seeds?
No, lady, that's Burger King where you can have it your way. You're in the wrong place. Get out of here. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. I'm with you there, Darryl. Especially when you go into a place that you've never been before. At least for me, it can be overwhelming. Like when I look up at the menu and there's all these choices and like, oh my God, what do I get? What do I want? I don't even know. And, people are coming in and you got to let them in line in front of you because I don't know what I want yet. So I've got to figure this out. And a lot of times I'll just ask somebody, what do you recommend? And then I'll just get that just because I don't like to stand there and have to decide things.
Yeah.
But if there's some kind of interactive menu system that shows you all of the options in a more easy to sort of absorb manner.
There's a burger chain that we have here in Keene where you can actually, and it's a national chain, you can actually order your food online and then go pick it up. And I love that.
Who's doing that? Which
Five Guys.
Oh, Five Guys. Okay.
Yeah, you can place the order online, and then you don't even have to go in there to order. You order online, you pay online, you go in and pick up your food.
That's the way to do it. And actually, I think Subway's doing that now, too. I tried that at the Keene Subway.
But the Subway is not as customizable.
Really?
At Five Guys, you can order it without bread. At Subway, you can't do that online. Because they have to, ring it up as a salad minus the lettuce, and it gets really confusing.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you go. Nothing's perfect, but it's still the same idea of you can choose all the different ingredients that you want on there, and it's just a little easier that way. But I can appreciate people who want to have a human interaction. I mean, I understand that, but that's going to go away if you demand $15 an hour for your
You can have the
burger
human
jobs.
interaction with your friends that you're sitting there eating your bunless burger with.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I mean, I get it. I don't mind going through the line at a grocery store where there's the human doing the checkout, even though the conversation isn't really anything that's important. It's usually at best about the weather or some other frivolous matter.
Do you have conversations with the checkout person?
Occasionally. It depends. Sometimes no. Sometimes yes. Depends on how I'm feeling at that moment.
The only place that I'll really have a conversation with the checkout person is at a small mom and pop sort of place. I don't converse with the people at Walmart.
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, it's usually never more than pleasantries, and that's about it. And what else can you expect from that? So, I mean, you could argue that it's useless and pointless, but I don't know. There's still something about
small
connecting
talk
with a
annoys
person.
me.
Yeah. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. What do you think about automation and the demands of the Walmart employees? 855-450-FREE, or Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. It's Free Talk Live.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Are you getting squeezed by the economic downturn? Hey, you were doing fine. Then, all of a sudden, you're having a tough time paying your family's credit card bills. Maybe you were downsized or even lost a job, but you still owe 10 grand or more in credit card bills, and you just can't afford the minimum payments anymore. We're here to help. We are the Genesis Debt Partners. We know the secrets to negotiate better terms with your creditors. Make a free 10-minute call right now and learn how we can help you get out of debt. 800-981-7590. If you owe 10 grand or more in credit card debt and you want to learn how you can pay less and get out of debt faster, call right now. 800-981-7590. 800-981-7590. Get out of debt now. 800-981-7590.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading on Black Friday, gold is down $14 at $1,059 per ounce. Silver is 14 cents lower at $14.19 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $355 US. For Black Friday, we're giving all profits to antiwar.com. Prices are down, prospects for more war are on the rise. Buy silver and support antiwar.com at the same time. Robertson Roberts is online at rrbi.co.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
You're invited to join us here on Free Talk Live. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. We're talking about things related to Black Friday. There's a Walmart protest or multiple protests going on at different Walmart locations today, and they're saying they want all kinds of things from Walmart management, including a boost to $15 an hour. Now, Walmart apparently is planning to increase all employee minimum pay to $10 an hour sometime in 2016.
By February, according to the CEO.
And it was already increased to $9 this year. So they are going up, but that would be a 50% increase, going from $10 to $15 an hour, and that would be a pretty big change to how their operations run.
And again, as you mentioned earlier, that's basically an insult to everybody that has spent years getting these pay raises to slowly earn their way up to $15.
Yeah, what do you make? I mean, if you're a Walmart worker, you're probably in management at $15 an hour.
Probably.
So then you'd be bringing up all of the regular hourly workers up to some of the managers' levels.
Right.
Would be my guess. Maybe you work at Walmart and you can give us your analysis here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let me go on with this piece here. This is some of the statements from the folks who are protesting. It's a group calling themselves Our Walmart. Stands for Organization United for Respect. They say part of treating employees with respect means curbing employee intimidation, especially when a grievance is aired or when employees attempt to organize. The group said, quote, associates who assert their freedom of association frequently face retribution from the company. Walmart should allow associates to freely join Our Walmart without fear of negative company action. Now, I know that Walmart has opposed unionization in the past of their employees.
I'm opposed the way unionization currently works. I am vastly opposed to it. Because for the most part, it's not freedom of association to where only those employees that want to unionize are in the union. If enough people say we want to unionize, it forces every employee at the location to join the union.
That's a huge problem.
So it's not freedom of association, it's freedom to force people to associate.
Yeah, it's just coercion. And then, you've got all the union laws that the government forces down on companies, and it's just, if unions were operating in a free market, that'd be one thing.
Right.
But they're not. They've been looking to government for a long time for benefits. There's another detail here from the story at RT.com. Some Walmart employees took their fight for $15, as they call it, fight for $15 an hour, to the home of Walmart heiress Alice Walton's condo in New York City.
New York City?
Yeah, they're protesting in that case, apparently, Walmart food drives. And I guess there's a news story from a couple of years ago, from last year, and another one prior to that in 2013, where a Walmart manager in Midwest City, Oklahoma, started a food donation campaign for her coworkers. Apparently, that resulted in Alice Walton getting an unexpected gift with a strong message from some other Walmart employees. According to Consumerist, a massive food donation bin was chained outside of Walton's Park Avenue condo in Manhattan. The message on the side of the bin read, quote, Walmart owner Alice Walton, we don't want charity. We want decent pay. Love, Walmart workers. So, wait a minute. I thought that a lot of the Walmart workers were on government assistance. Wouldn't getting charity from their coworkers be a way to help them? I mean, if being on government assistance is a way to take care of the basic needs of life, and that's one of the purported claims,
right,
then wouldn't getting that donation from other people, not the government, help with that? Why would somebody turn their nose up? Why would someone turn their nose up at a donation if they're hurting? If they really do need assistance, they're so needy that they've turned to the government for assistance, why would they turn their nose up at their fellow employees providing for them?
Was it the people that were offered the assistance that got upset?
That's
or
a good
was it
point.
Another employee that got upset that somebody's trying to help our coworkers?
Yeah, that's a good point. It might not have
Walmart
been.
actually responded to the thing about the food drive. And CNBC has the story from November of last year where Walmart spokeswoman Kayla Whaling quickly responded to the criticism, saying that the drive was planned by one of the store's employees who was collecting food for two coworkers who were on a leave of absence and unable to work. So you had people that were out for some reason, don't know if it was health or medical or some family emergency, but a couple people that were out of work. So somebody said, hey, we got a couple of coworkers that are out of work. Let's do something nice and give them food.
I guess it's sort of caught on, from what I understand. That's something that started in that one store, but then the idea spread to other places. The Walmart employees, according to ABC News, this is from last year, the average starting wage for Walmart sales associates was $8.81 per hour. So that's risen to $9.
$9 an hour as of April of this year, according to the CEO.
Which translates to an annual pay of about $15,576 based on 34 hours of full-time work per week. Walmart, the nation's largest employer with more than 1.3 million workers. That's the population of New Hampshire.
Yes.
Walmart employs the population of New Hampshire, said its average pay for part-time and full-time workers is, excluding managers, $11.83 an hour, according to ABC. Walmart,
I don't think managers get paid hourly, which would be why they exclude them.
So, I thought I saw more in here about this bins. I don't know where I saw people holding these no bins signs or whatever from protesting.
You said that somebody was holding a sign that said, we need 15 not bins or something.
Yeah, something like that. I can't find those pictures now. I don't know which article it was on. I got a little mixed up here. But, if people want to collect food for the Walmart employees, I guess the message there is that the employees are so underpaid that they can't even afford their own food. That's kind of the suggestion.
The worker here that started this first one that apparently got somebody's panties in a wad, the worker, Dawn Sulaitis, who has worked at Walmart for 19 years, said she first asked for permission to hold the food drive when she found out that two families would be down to one income over the holidays. She says it just really comes down to wanting to lend somebody a helping hand.
She's worked there for 19 years. I mean, if somebody can stay at such a terrible job for 19 years, that suggests that they're doing okay, right? Like that they're feeding themselves, okay? Because if you're not able to feed yourself, then you're probably not going to want to continue working for Walmart.
And this article from CNBC, again from last year, says Walmart came under similar criticism the year prior, meaning 2013, when an employee held a food drive for one coworker who lost their home in a fire, and another who stopped receiving child support from her ex-husband. So these are the people that they're holding food drives for, people that are out of work due to some, circumstance beyond their control, somebody who lost their house in a fire, and someone who stopped receiving child support.
So what you're saying is they're not just being done generally for the Walmart workers. They're being done specifically for specific Walmart workers who are under unusually hard times.
Yes.
Interesting.
At least that's the news that I'm seeing.
Yeah. Maybe you've got some insights that you want to add to the discussion. You can join us here. The remaining moments of Free Talk Live, we do have time for you at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There's an interesting piece over at the Washington Post. It's actually from last year. It's an editorial piece. Black Friday brawl videos are how rich people shame the poor, saying, stop gawking. 855-450-3733. We'll get into that. Ian and Darryl here on Free Talk Live. It's Black Friday edition, and we're live.
Dr. Ngozi Obi is an emerging American author of Nigerian descent who's published 2 novels with an inspirational message. A third is in the works. Her first novel, Love's Destiny, follows Naira, a somewhat naive young woman, in a gripping tale of love lost and found. Her second novel, When Dreams and Visions Collide, follows Fern and friends as they discover what it takes to realize a dream and the true meaning of unconditional love. Dr. Obi's books are available where books are sold and ladyofdestiny.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the new Healing Our World is a great gift this Christmas for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Concerned about harmful contaminants in your water? Look to ProPure, the most trusted name in gravity water filtration systems. ProPure, with the silver-infused Pro 1G 2.0 filter, removes over 200 contaminants, including VOCs, heavy metals, chloramines, pesticides, pharmaceuticals, fluorides, and radiologicals. We don't just say it, we back it up. The Pro 1G 2.0 filter is NSF 42 certified and independently tested to meet NSF 53 and P231 standards. Pro Pure Water, the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. Purchase with confidence in quality, performance, and customer service. Take advantage of our biggest holiday 25% off sale going on now. Visit your authorized Pro Pure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com. Or call 800-544-3533. 800-544-3533.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain, but enough time for you if you want to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The live Black Friday edition here with Ian.
And Darryl.
And Darryl's website, fpp.cc, where you can get a 5% and 10% off of products. Correct?
Yes. And if you use code BTC, you get an extra 20%. On orders over $20.
All right. That's a good time to get some books then, because that's what you've got available right there over at fpp.cc.
I believe it's 37 books total.
You kind of mix in the classics that are like beyond copyright with new ones that are unique to your own publishing company.
Yes.
So check it out, fpp.cc. You know, this whole thing to change Walmart, all this effort being put in, who knows how much money. I mean, I don't know how many people in total are protesting all around the country, this Fight for 15, these people spending all manner of time and effort.
Every couple of months, there's protest outside of a McDonald's where McDonald's workers are supposedly walking off of their shifts. And then, they're also fighting for 15. And now the Walmart people every turkey gobble day.
It reminds me of people who are trying to protest the government. They'll go out and they'll hold a protest in Washington, D.C. We're going to million moms or million men or million whoever. We're going to go to Washington, D.C. and hold signs, and we're going to spend hundreds of dollars on gas and hotel rooms and, whatever it takes to get there, right? Because there's money involved in getting to Washington, D.C. and then staying there for any decent amount of time. We're going to spend all this money traveling to go and yell and chant and hold signs in the hopes that the government is going to do something for us. The government's going to do what we want it to.
No more chanting. No more chanting.
I hate chanting. But changing Walmart isn't going to be as hard as changing the government, but it's close, right? Like it's the same kind of immobile structure that is humongous and, in this case, global, unlike the U.S.
It's going to be pretty difficult to change the way Walmart functions.
Right. And so what is this really about? I mean, do these people really believe that they're going to have enough of an impact to where Walmart CEO wakes up tomorrow morning and says, you know what? There have been enough protesters out today. I finally have been persuaded on this. That this is it. I decree that now our and the board of directors is on board, and we are going to up the minimum wage at Walmart to $15 an hour.
I don't think they want just the CEO of Walmart to say $15. I honestly think that they want government agents to mandate everybody makes $15 an hour.
I'm sure that that's what some of them would want, but that's not the focus of the protest in this case. They just want Walmart to increase the wages. But it just, it's like tilting at windmills, I guess, maybe. There's not really much of a point to this. I don't know how much money's behind these organizations, these unions or whatever, but I'm sure they're not poorly funded. They seem to be relatively good at getting attention and, press coverage and all that. So there's probably some money behind it. And I realize I don't want to be flip when I suggest that, why don't you compete? If it's so easy to just pay people $15 an hour, why don't you try it and see how it works? Go ahead, open up a business where you sell whatever products or service, and you have from day one the intention of paying people $15 an hour, and see how it works out.
You know what image popped into my mind as you were saying, why don't you do it? The video of the guy
Gunnersville?
Why don't you walk to Gunnersville?
Which video is that for people that don't know?
I'll drive. See who gets there first. You got a Mercedes-Benz. There's the video. If you go
it's
to
hilarious.
YouTube,
it's called Strutting.
Strutting that ass.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. But it was this old drunk guy that was really upset, and there was somebody doing a remote broadcast or filming on location something, and the reporter just decided to ask him, so what's got you so upset today?
Yeah,
and so
great.
he filmed it. And then like 15, 20 years later, somebody somehow got a hold of it and did an auto-tune of it. And it's hilarious.
I highly recommend it. It's one of the funniest videos I've seen on the internet. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the minimum wage.
It doesn't, but just the way you said, why don't you do it? Reminded me of him.
Why don't you start your own Walmart or, some competitor to Walmart and, do it on a local business style thing where you're offering similar products and you can pay your employees $15 an hour and see if you can make it work. Maybe somebody out there has actually done that. I doubt it. Because, it takes a lot to compete at that level.
It takes money to make money.
Yep, that's true.
And also, I think that a lot of the people, and I'm purely speculating here, but I see a lot of connection between the Occupy Wall Street movement where they were saying, we need $20 an hour and this and that and the other thing and free stuff. I see a lot of similarities between that and this fight for 15 to where if you do go suggest to these people, well, start your own business. I can't do that because capitalism keeps me from doing it. And
well, usually it's the government that'll stop them.
Right, but what they mean by capitalism is the cronyism thing that we have where it's the highly regulated economy where the means of production are privately held.
Where Walmart gets a favor from the government, whereas the little guy gets screwed. These folks who, if they were entrepreneurial, can't even start their own business. Because I was talking earlier about how a lot of these people that are working at the retail jobs are not entrepreneurs.
Right.
But even if they did have it in their head to become an entrepreneur and start their own business, they would then find that it would be either impossible or near to impossible to actually traverse whatever arbitrary government regulatory hoops are put in their way to prevent them from either, look, sorry, you live in this city, you can't open a home-based business. That happens, or you just can't do it. Or, okay, yeah, you can open your home-based business, but it can't be in these areas. You can't cook in your own home for other people and charge for it. So, maybe whatever it is that they love to do, whether it's braiding hair, haircuts, nail polishing,
you can't braid hair without a beautician's license, even though at beauty school we don't teach you how to braid hair.
Yeah. So there's just so many reasons why people who are poor are kept down. And ultimately, it's not Walmart that I don't think should be receiving the blame for keeping poor people down.
Right.
It's the government that is keeping poor people down by, one, taking the idea of taking a risk in life, taking the idea of entrepreneurship away from people, not even introducing it to them when they're going to government school. You don't learn anything about how to handle money in government school. I remember when I was in government school, and I went to the gifted school, they only taught us about checks, how to write a check. That's what we were taught about as far as money is concerned.
I don't know if I learned necessarily how to write a check.
Yeah, which is almost useless today.
I do remember in home ec having to create a household budget.
We didn't have home ec at the gifted school, so I've never had the experience of being in a home ec class.
I made the best purple berry muffins that the teacher has ever had. And I say purple berry because they were supposed to be blueberry muffins, but I misread the instructions. Right, but I misread the instructions and stuff was in the beater, whatchamacallit, and it said stir in blueberries. And so I threw the blueberries in with the thing that was beating the dough.
Isn't it just a beater?
I think it's got a different name, like a blender,
beater blade?
Maybe. I don't know, but whatever it was, I threw the blueberries in that and it beat them up and
turned it purple.
Turned the dough purple. Right. You were supposed to stir the blueberries in by hand after removing it from the beater thing. But teacher said they were the best purple berry muffins.
So I don't think we're going to have time to get into this story here about the shaming of the poor. That's what the argument is at the Washington Post. Luke O'Neill posting a year ago, basically suggesting that this is like the Hunger Games, the people that are coming in and they're fighting over the products on the store shelves and on store pallets, that this is the Hunger Games, that it's the poor people that are fighting it out, and the rich people are sitting back and laughing about it.
That reminds me, I need to check the showtimes for Mockingjay Part 2.
Did you watch the third film in the series?
I've seen the first three. I have not yet seen the final one.
Yeah, they did come out with that. I've enjoyed the series. I saw the first two, so I do need to catch up to the one. I wanted to watch the part one of part 1 and 2 before I watched part 2. That way I didn't have to wait a year. So I waited a year to watch.
Yeah, I watched part 1 last year in a theater.
So anyway, more Black Friday. You're welcome to join us tomorrow about that same topic. It doesn't have to end here tonight. I think we've covered a lot of important stuff, especially the Walmart protests that are going on. Look, it's hard to be in a position like that to get low pay, but yelling and chanting and spending your time and effort trying to persuade these people to run their business differently, I just don't think it's going to work.
Nor do I.
I just don't think it's going to work. To spend that time figuring out how you can bring value to the marketplace, and so you can work outside of the system, off the books, and make some extra money.
Go to Fiverr.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Fiverr. Or sell drugs or something. Or Vice. Vice is good. See you tomorrow.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveatpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveatpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can listen to Free Talk Live on the radio, podcast, satellite, webcam, and our live streams. But did you know you can listen to Free Talk Live from any phone, anywhere? Add this number to your phone, 213-493-0308. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The listen lines are airing the latest episode of Free Talk Live 24 hours a day, including our live shows. Call 213-493-0308. That's 213-493-0308.
Anarchix is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, November 27th, 2015. Silver is trading at $13.98 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,053 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $358. Antiwar.com reports, following French President François Hollande's high-profile meeting with Vladimir Putin, Russia and France have announced they will engage in increasing cooperation against the Islamic State inside of Syria and will increase intelligence sharing on potential targets. Since the attacks in Paris by the Islamic State, France has been pushing for increased cooperation between the U.S.-led coalition they are part of and Russia on the fighting, though U.S. officials have been warning Hollande against letting cooperation on the Islamic State get in the way of the ongoing anti-Russia crackdown in Eastern Europe. Still, Russia has indicated openness to working together on the Islamic State from the start, and Putin insists that he still is, despite Turkey destroying one of their bombers earlier this week, a move which greatly increased Russia-NATO tensions. Hollande and Putin did, however, disagree on the future of Syrian President Bashar Assad, with Hollande insisting he has to immediately leave power, and Putin insisting the post-Syrian president is entirely up to the Syrian people. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency.